Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hobbs Eagle Baseball versus Cleveland tonight. First pitch around 7 o'clock, and we'll go on live a few minutes right before that. We're here at Sportsman's Park in Hobbs. Again, Hobbs Eagle Baseball versus Cleveland, live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Once again, Hobbs Eagle Baseball coming up in just a few minutes here at Sportsman's Park as Eagles take on the Cleveland Storm, a three-day round-robin tournament. Eagles will be playing here on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We'll also be rebroadcasting the game live on YouTube. You can catch that throughout the week. And Saturday, we'll have the 12:30 game against Santa Fe High School. We will not have the broadcast tomorrow night due to Hobbs Lady Eagles playoff basketball, but we will have baseball games again tonight and on Saturday. So stay tuned. Hobbs Eagle Baseball versus Cleveland here at Sportsman's Park, live in Hobbs tonight. Be with us on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Welcome, everyone, to Sportsman's Park. Time for Hobbs Eagle Baseball, live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Ty Friend here with you tonight as we have the first game of the round-robin tournament here at Sportsman. And the Eagles will be hosting the Cleveland Storm. Both of these teams played last week at a Cleveland big tournament going on up there in Rio Rancho. Eagles lost to the Storm 5-1 in that contest, but they did out-hit the Storm 6-5 in that game. Cleveland outscored the Eagles 2-0 in the first inning. It was 4-1 in the third after the Eagles did score, and one more run put on for the Storm in the sixth for that, again, 5-1 victory in that one. Cleveland did manage 5 hits in the contest. Nobody really getting a lot of numbers except Jaramillo. He ended up 2 for 3 at the plate, 2 RBIs, a run, and a triple total for him. So definitely a good game in terms of hitting. A couple other guys in terms of hits for Cleveland included Hennessy, had 1 for 3 with a run and a walk. Tyler, also Kinter, and Dominic also getting 1 hit apiece for the Storm. Your Hobbs Eagles on the other side of the coin with their 6 hits. Colton Graham, the big numbers, 2 for 3, including a triple. He was also called the Max Preps Player of the Game against the Storm in that one. A couple other people getting some hits for the Eagles. Bernie Sikoris, 1 for 3 with the run. These were all singles. Also, kind of a new guy on the at least on the varsity staff for the Hobbs Eagles, and definitely a kid that's going to be a big part of the outfield and also at the plate. It's going to be Makai Brewer, the right fielder. He went 1 for 3 against the Storm. Eric McNabb, 1 for 3 as well. The Eagles only left 9 players on base in that contest against Cleveland in that game. Colton Graham was on the mound for the Eagles as a losing pitcher, unfortunately. 5 2/3 innings for him. He gave up 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, let 5 runs score, 4 earned, and 4 walks in that loss against the Cleveland Storm. So that was the one game that they played up there. But the other couple contests as well. Eagles thrashing Piedra Vista 6-1. Hobbs whacking 10 hits in that game. Also had 4 stolen bases, a couple of doubles with Brewer and Bird for the Eagles in that contest. So definitely some good work going on there for Hobbs in that contest. Also getting some time on the mound, the winner of that game, Zach McPeters, the pitcher for the Eagles, only giving up 3 hits, 2 walks, and struck out 10 batters in his first start of the season. So impressive win for McPeters as a senior year for him. Definitely is going to have a great future for baseball in the college ranks. In terms of other people getting some time on the mound, Marcus Alderetti, of course, he had some experience from last year's squad. He had 2 innings in that game and 4 walks given up in the contest. Of course, the Hobbs Eagles also played Belen, shut them out 6-0. Eagles getting 6 hits in that contest. Colton Graham getting a couple of those. He had a stolen base as well. Eagles also managing 2 doubles and a triple. Easton Kirkendall went 2 for 2 with a run, a walk, and a double. Eric McNabb had a double. Sikoris Puig had a triple in that ball game. And the sophomore pitcher, Brewer, once again, he went 6 2/3 inning with the victory there. Only gave up 4 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 8 batters. So definitely some good stuff there. Eagles had 7 different players picking up a walk against Belen. So some good eyes on the pitches there for the Eagles. Unfortunately, though, in those 2 games that they did win, Hobbs left a lot of players on the bases against Piedra Vista. 14 left on and 13 against Belen, but still getting those wins, 6-1 and 6-0. So got to give them some credit where credit is due to pick up those victories. So Hobbs will play Cleveland here tonight. We will not have a broadcast for you tomorrow, but Saturday at 12:30 here at Sportsman's Park, Eagles will take on Santa Fe High. They're a team that's only had 1 game under their belt so far coming into this round-robin tournament, so we'll have to see how they do in their prior couple games before Saturday. So it should look like a pretty exciting start of the weekend here on a Thursday night with games following Friday and Saturday. Of course, the Eagles had a 20-3 season last year, but they did lose 5 of their seniors, so definitely some big numbers they're going to have on the squad this year. Of course, Brevin McCool, he batted .515 last year as a senior, had 4 triples, and definitely a big long ballers, too, with 4 home runs for the Eagles in that season, and 33 RBIs for Brevin McCool. Wright, another guy that hit well for him at .397, and Salmon at .397 as well. So those 3 seniors sorely missed in terms of the bats. But some big returners for the Eagles. Zach McPeters last year was 8-0 as a starter. an ERA of 1.10. You can't beat those numbers. He's back again. He'll be starting tonight against Cleveland. Colton Graham, he came up last year with a 5-0 record in the second-place finish for the Eagles with an ERA of 2.06. And Marcus Aldrete coming out of the bullpen quite a bit last year. He had a record of 1-0. Eagles batted as a team at .332 last year. 182 runs, 192 hits, 37 doubles, 22 triples, and 8 home runs, and very active on the bases, too, with 53 stolen ones. So definitely that's why a team is in the championship like they were last year. Unfortunately, lost that last game to La Cueva to finish up in second place in the 5A. So definitely a great season for the Eagles. Looking at this season in terms of the squad that they have, 8 seniors on the roster this year, so lots of experience returning. Of course, Eric McNabb, Colton Graham, Zach McPeters, Easton Kirkendall, Bernie Socorros Puig, Isaiah Montez, Edwin Perez, and Marcus Aldrete. A bunch of those guys will be starting in their places here tonight. 3 juniors on the squad this year, and the lone sophomore, we mentioned Makai Brewer, getting a chance to start in right field in this game tonight as well. So that's pretty much what you're looking for in terms of experience. A lot of guys coming back. Of course, the Eagles were tops in the district last year, 11-1. 4 games ahead of Carlsbad. Hasn't happened very frequently for the last several years, but Carlsbad 7-5, and then Roswell 6-6, Clovis 0-12. So Eagles had a big spread of wins versus losses against those teams and punched their ticket to the playoffs. And again, lost 11-2 to La Cueva in the state championship game. Hobbs was down early in that game, 2-0. Then 5 more runs put on the board for La Cueva in that second inning, although Hobbs did manage a couple runs of their own. And then after that, the third inning, a couple more runs for La Cueva, and finally 2 more in the fourth. Hobbs did manage 5 hits in that championship game last year. Eric McNabb, who's back this year, went 2 for 3. Colton Graham went 1 for 3. And, of course, Marcus Aldrete even saw some time. He was the second man out of the bullpen for the Eagles in that one. He threw for 3 innings, gave up 5 hits and 2 runs, no walks, and no strikeouts. So he's back this year, kind of a cleanup artist there for the Eagles in terms of coming out of the bullpen to help out the Eagles' cause. So lots of great experience returning on this team. Coach Marcus Boyle is very happy about what he's been seeing with this squad as they progress. They did lose some critical seniors in terms of their offense, of course, but still looks like we got some guys back that are taking care of business. And, of course, the record at 2-1 at this point in time. The Eagles are batting .272 this season at this point after those 3 ball games. Currently, they got a couple of guys hitting well. The Bird Kid with 500 so far off of 3 out of 6 hits at this point. Other batters going pretty big. Colton Graham at .364 on the season. Easton Kirkendall, of course, you have a first name Easton. You got to swing the bat well. .333 at this point. Bernie Socorros Puig at .300 for the Hobbs Eagles. They've managed a total of 22 hits and 9 RBIs so far, 4 doubles and a couple of triples. Nobody's hit over the fence yet, but we're hoping that's going to happen here tonight against the Cleveland Storm. And Cleveland coming into this contest with their 3-0 record, all winning at those home matchups that they had. Their current batting average at .329. They've had a total of 24 runs so far. That's 8 per game and 23 hits. 17 RBIs for this Cleveland Storm team. They've hit 1 double and 4 triples. No home runs so far for the Storm. Last year, these two teams are neck and neck. Eagles finished up 4th in the Max Preps poll, and Cleveland Storm at number 5. They lost in the first round to La Cueva, the eventual state champs. We got the national anthem starting here at Sportsman's Park. We'll take a 90-second break and come back live with you on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Welcome back to Sportsman's Park after the national anthem here tonight, live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube, the home of the Hobbs Eagles. Hobbs coming in with their 2-1 record and the Cleveland Storm at 3-0. Let's look at who is starting on the field, first of all, for the Hobbs Eagles. Starting at first base will be for Hobbs, Marcus Alderetti. Of course, he also does some pitching for him as well. At second base, Bernie Socorro-Puig. And at third, Major Bird. Behind the plate will be Kenyon Singleton, and the starting pitcher with the 1-0 record, Zach McPeters. In the outfield, Kirkendall in the left, McNabb at center, and Brewer on the right field spot. For the Cleveland Storm, in terms of at the plate, DJ Sandoval, the shortstop, will be first up. Chase Tyler, the left fielder, second, and Jace Dominic, the center fielder, in the third spot. Cleanup man will be Brayton Elzy. He's the DH, by the way. And we'll get the rest of the players as they come up here for the Cleveland Storm. And looking at the starting guy at the plate for them, in terms of DJ Sandoval, he is a shortstop. As they get the field last-minute instructions going on here, Sandoval batting .250 this season for the Storm. He's already had a couple of runs scored, a couple of hits, an RBI. Hobbs wearing the black uniforms and gray pants. He'll be in the field first, as we mentioned, and the gray uniforms with that teal color there for the Cleveland Storm. Mentioned the Eagles in the championship game last year. Finished up first in district by a wide margin, 11-1 record to 7-5 for Carlsbad. Cleveland finished second in their district. Rio Rancho was 8-0, and the Storm behind them at 5-3. Cleveland finished the season at 16-5 overall. And the Hobbs Eagles at 20-3. Again, we mentioned the Max Preps Bowl, kind of nip and tuck between those two teams. They finished up the season, Hobbs at 4, and Max Preps gave Cleveland a number 5 spot. Although they did lose in the first round to La Cueva, the team that won the state championship 10-4 in that game. So McPeters getting his last warm-ups here. A little bit of a breeze picking up as we move along on this Thursday night. Had about a 70-degree day today and dropping down to 36 tonight, so we'll see how quickly those temperatures drop. Hopefully well after the game is over. Flag blowing a little bit right now in right center field. Ready for some Hobbs Eagle baseball, of course. Basketball season still going on for Hobbs as well. We have that big playoff game on Saturday night. Eagles will be taking on Farmington High School from Tasker Arena. It'll be a 6 o'clock start. That'll be on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube, as well as the radio, Cool 95.7. Tomorrow night, the Hobbs Lady Eagles in their first-round state playoff game, as they will take on Piedra Vista, 6 o'clock on our radio station, 100.5 The Eagle, also here, HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. And we're ready for some action live, getting it going quickly, as first up will be DJ Sandoval. Sandoval, the shortstop. First pitch from McPeters, a fastball right down the pike, and gets that outside corner for the strike. 0-1 count now to Sandoval. Goes inside and low for ball one. Let it roll down the first baseline just a bit there for Singleton. Just kind of getting used to some defensive plays there where he might need to throw somebody down. Sandoval facing a 1-1 count now. Pitch high and well out of the strike zone for ball two. Count goes to 2-1. Bunch of games going on earlier today. Los Lunas 8-1 over Clovis played here right before this game. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball hit high up into the air towards right field as Brewer and a couple other players running on that first base line. A one-hand bobble and dropped on that line, just foul to the right of the first base line. Eagles had 3 players kind of running towards the same spot there, right behind the first bag out in the green, though. Second baseman getting over there pretty heavy, Socorro-Puig, and he came all the way from second, chasing it towards the foul line. So count is even up at 2-2. Nice aggressiveness there for 3 players to get to that spot. Try to make a play and just barely kind of waffled it towards the ground and just bobbled it just at the last second here. Here comes the 2-2. Down the middle, chop shot out to Puig. He makes up for the drop in foul territory. Nailed right in his chest with the glove up there to make the catch. So 1 out already for the Eagles defense. It's a way to get things going. That'll sit Sandoval down. And it'll bring up Chase Tyler, the left fielder. Second at-bat here for the Cleveland Storm, coming in from Rio Rancho, of course. First pitch going inside for ball one. Tyler batting .333 this season with 3 hits, 3 runs scored, couple of RBIs, and a triple for the Storm. Fastball low for ball 2. So Tyler keeping ahead of the count here. Mentioned that the Storm batting .329 this season through 3 games. Here's the windup and the throw from McPeters down the middle. Off the handle of the bat is going to sail to the right side foul territory over the Cleveland Storm dugout. We are slated for 7 here in this round-robin 3-day tournament. Count now 2-1. Peters spies what he wants from Singleton on the call. Goes curve it inside and just barely misses the elbow for ball 3. Trying to keep alive here is Zach McPeters, a senior for the Hobbs Eagles. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball, chop shot. He'll take a bounce towards short. Backhanding it is Graham. Throws a hard one to first and gets him just in time. Nice snag for Alderetti to reach out there and pull that down, doing the splits. And boy, Colton Graham with a nice arm on that one. Sizzled through to first base for out number 2. So 2 down now for Cleveland. And now we go to third in the order, Jace Dominic, the center fielder. Dominic batting .667 this year with 4 hits, 5 RBIs, and a triple. He's a lefty as well. That fastball down the pike. You can hear the glove take a nice pling there as a good throw from Zach McPeters on that one. He'll get a couple more here to try to sit this big slugger down. Here's the windup in the throw. Going inside and late swing that time for Dominic. It rolls out foul outside the first baseline, right to their first base coach for the Storm. Definitely want to keep this well away from the strike zone here because Dominic does know how to swing the bats. He's the best hitter for the Storm. Here's the 0-2, outside, and ball 1. Kind of floated it just a bit there for McPeters. Kind of give him a little bit more to look at here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Third in the order for the Storm is Jace Dominic. And a time called. Dominic wants to think about it for just a second as he's adjusting that right shin guard. Dominic playing center field for the Storm. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball gets him right in the top of the strike zone. Watching it was Dominic. So Dominic's going to have to take a seat. That's his first strikeout of the season for that big slugger, and he paid for it against some great pitching there to end up the top of the first. So out number 3. No hits, nobody on base, no run score. We go to the bottom of the first. Your Hobbs Eagles getting their first swing at the bat here at Sportsman's Park. Stay with us live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Back here at Sportsman's Park, the Hobbs Eagle offense getting ready to start this ball game. Still 0-0 as they shut down the offense of Cleveland with a fly, ground, and strikeout. On the mound for the Storm defensively is Barela. No record yet for him, 1 appearance so far. He's got an ERA of 3.50. So Eagles will bring up to the plate to get this thing going. Bernie Socorro-Puig, the second baseman for the 2-1 Eagles. Puig, in terms of hitting so far through 3 games where the Eagles are 2-1. Batting .300. He's got 4 runs, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and a triple so far for the Eagles. And Hobbs wearing the black uniforms and gray pants in this one, and the gray uniforms for Cleveland with the teal numbers. Might be a little bit hard to see there on YouTube. So the first time Bernie's get to swing a bat here in 2022. Of course, the season a little bit late last year. We played championship game in June, late June. Of course, Bernie, a little lefty here, kind of shook his derriere there to the crowd, and they responded to that one, to the music here. Hobbs coming to this game batting .272 so far. With those 2 wins at the Cleveland tournament in Rio Rancho as Bernie calls the timeout. Of course, the Eagles getting a 6-1 victory. in their first matchup. That was Piedra Vista beat Berlin 6-0 as well. So 12 runs in those two combined games. Lost to Cleveland 5-1. Bernie getting himself adjusted here. Glove is where he wants it now. The umpire just saying, kind of hurry up here. Let's get this pitch going. Completely messing with both gloves now as he's ready to get himself back into the box. Barela taking his time, the windup and the throw. Fastball hit high into the air towards left field. Is headed towards the wall. Going, and gone! That's what you do to adjust the gloves, and you get the HR as the Eagles already on the scoreboard. First home run of the season for the Eagles, and that is Mr. Socorus Puig with the shot over the wall, left side. Way to start the ball game. Kind of joking about the glove maneuvering there, but he makes the visiting team pay for it. As the Eagles go up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Eric McNabb, now the center fielder, trying to back up what he just saw his teammate do. He's batting .333, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 RBIs, and a double for McNabb. Curveball right down the pike, and it's a strike, a swing and a miss there for McNabb. He's second in the order. Colton Graham and Edwin Perez, 3 and 4 for the Eagles, who lead 1-0. Home run to get this game going for Socorus Puig. Here's the pitch, high one. It's going to be a bouncer towards second base. Actually, shortstop's going to come up, make the throw, and gets it there. And no! They said the first baseman pulled his foot off as the throw came from short. Sandoval to Brevig. Good throw there, real hard one right towards the numbers, but Brevig pulled off just a bit. So that will give a base runner now for the Eagles. Colton Graham now third in the order, the shortstop. Graham batting .364 so far. He's got 4 hits, a run, 2 RBIs, and a triple. So all these guys getting some big extra base hits here to start the order. Curveball comes down, and whoa, it looked like it was a little bit outside, but they're going to get the strike on that one. Just barely clipped the bottom of the strike zone. Still 1-0 in case you just joined us. Bernie Socorus Puig, homer over the left wall for the first score here in the bottom of the first. Here's the 0-1 pitch, fastball off the handle. It's going to sail towards foul territory and hit the sidewall on the Cleveland side of the field to right. And it's going to roll close to the back wall there. Straighten that thing out just a bit. That's going to drop right in that right field area. Count goes to 0-2 now for Colton Graham. Edwin Perez, the DH, the cleanup man up next. Again, the Eagles have 8 seniors returning on this squad this year. 6 for Cleveland. Curveball high and outside for ball 1. Good eye there for Graham. Of course, Graham also playing football for the Hobbs Eagle program. Takes a few glances back over to Coach Boyle, get some signals there. Here comes the 1-2 pitch now from Barela. Turns and fires, he'll change up, reaches out on the edge of the bat. It's going to be rolling towards short. Sandoval tries to throw to second. Errant throw out to right field. And so that'll get runners on both bases. Should have been a routine throw to second. He's only about a couple of steps away and throws it hard behind Kinter. So that's an error. And now we got runners at first and second. McNabb at second, Graham at first. Edwin Perez, the cleanup man for the Eagles. Edwin is the DH, batting .200. He's got a couple of hits, 2 RBIs. And looking for his first multi-base hit of the season. Barela peeks back at second to see the runner, turns and fires, curve outside for ball 1. Eagles with runners at first and second. 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. We are slated for 7 here at Sportsman's Park. Cleveland at 3-0, the Eagles at 2-1. Again, looking back at second as Barela turns and fires a fastball low for ball 2. And jumping up quickly behind the plate was Hoffman. He's thinking about trying to toss somebody out on the bases here. So Hobbs better be careful, especially McNabb there at second. Cleveland trying to keep the scoring down as much as possible with that homer to get this thing going. Here's the 2-0 pitch now from Barela. He pulls off the mound and gets a timeout call. Is looking back again to make sure McNabb's not getting too far ahead towards that third base. 2 balls and no strikes. Big leadoffs at both bases for the Eagles. Here's the turn of the fire. Fastball high for ball 3. So big job for Perez so far ahead of the count. He's got a couple of pitches to burn here if he wants. No down here in the bottom of the first. Three balls, no strikes. Barela fires. Fastball right down the pike. You can expect that one. No flinch whatsoever from Perez. Just watch that one to the glove. Count goes to 3-1. Barela checking his wristband now and reset. Eagles have the leadoffs at first and second. McNabb and Graham. Fastball, swing and a miss. Coming up underneath him at that time was Perez. So now we got ourselves a full count to deal with. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Once again, checking that wristband is Barela on the mound. Not sure if he's looking for pitch signals or what. Here's the pitch, curveball, and they're going to say, whoa, they called that a strike. He watched it look like it came up near chin high and then dropped down towards the plate for the strike 3. So watching at that time is Perez. He's going to have to take a seat. First strikeout of the game for Barela on the mound. Major Bird will step up. His first season with the Eagles, the third baseman. Bird batting .500 so far with 3 hits and a double. Bounce ball outside for ball 1. Good eye there for Bird. Eagles up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Barela takes a peek back at second, turns and fires. Outside, it gets past the catcher, Hop, and he's going to have to chase it down a little bit off to the first base line. Enough for the runners to advance. So Hobbs in scoring position now with 1 out. As getting to third is McNabb and Graham at second. Eagles trying to extend that 1-0 lead. Count is 2-0 as Bird gets up ahead of it. He is 5th in the order for Hobbs. Barela's going to take a stall and step off the back of the rubber here as we saw kind of a long extension for Graham there at second, coming off the bag pretty much. He's halfway to third base already. Fastball, and clips the outside corner for the strike. Two balls and 1 strike here with the 1-0 Eagle lead. Here comes the pitch from Barela. Curveball inside, a knuckler off the handle. It's going to roll foul outside the first baseline, and really a half nonchalant jog there for Bird. He knew that was going to be out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got the right fielder moving in quite a bit here for the Eagles. There's a big spot open out in that right gap in the right field area. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Barela, high one near the wrist for ball 3. And we got ourselves a full count here now. 1 down in the bottom of the first. Hobbs up 1-0. Off the homer from Bernie Socorros Puig. Big pitch here with runners at second and third for the Eagles. The windup of the throw inside, up near elbow high, and that's going to be ball 4. So first walk issued by Barela. And Mekhi Brewer now, the right fielder. Brewer batting .222 this season with 2 hits and a double. Big meeting of the minds now going to the mound as Cleveland's going to be talking about it a little bit as runners at second and third as time was called. So they're going to discuss if they're going to keep their pitcher in here. It's already just the bottom of the first inning. So I think they give him a little bit more time to try to take care of business here. I don't think there's any changes going to be made, so just kind of a timeout to get him back on track. So Mekhi Brewer now, he is 6th in the order for the Eagles, the right fielder. Right back to the wristband goes Barela. Not sure what he's checking out there. Runners at second and third are making, bases loaded. What am I talking about here? Curveball inside off the end of the bat out towards center field. It's going to take a drop. An RBI single for Brewer. The relay back to the pitcher. Barela will score the run, though. So Brewer coming up big for the Eagles. An RBI. That will score McNabb. And Hobbs going up now 2-0. Here in the bottom of the first. Bases still loaded for the Eagles. And Marcus Alderetti, first baseman for the Eagles, also a pitcher that comes out of the bullpen. Already batting 167. Check swing, going to go foul to the right backstop. So 167 so far with 1 hit, 1 RBI for the senior. Takes off the glove and readjusts that for Hobbs. Just 1 down here in the bottom of the first. Still 2-0 your score. All the bases loaded for the Eagles. Here's the windup in the throw from Barela. Fastball right down the pike. Little flinch there for Alderetti, but does not swing the bat and unfortunately eats the strike. 0-2 count now. A few waggles of the bat here for Alderetti. 7th in the order for the Eagles. Here's the pitch. 0-2 high fastball for ball 1. So Barela mixing it up just a bit. Trying to survive here in the first inning after giving up those 2 runs, including a homer. Kirkendall and Singleton ran out the order for the Eagles. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Change-up action low and outside for ball 2 to even up the count. A little bit of a wind here at Sportsman's Park tonight for the first home game of the season. Probably no more than about, maybe no more than 10 miles per hour here tonight. Here's the 2-2. Fastball and strike 3. Watching at that time was Alderetti. So 2 Ks issued by Barela. Bases are still loaded with 2 down. That's going to bring up next to last in the order, Easton Kirkendall, the left fielder. Kirkendall batting .333 this season with 3 hits, 2 runs, and a double. Definitely like to bring somebody else home to add on to this 2-0 lead. Curve inside, taking the whiskers off his chin there for ball 1. Big leadoff at the bases for second and third for Hobbs. Fastball right down the middle for the strike to even up the count at 1-1. Cleveland beat the Eagles 5-1 last weekend, so Hobbs definitely wants to turn the tables here down in southeast New Mexico tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike coming from Barela. Hits the home plate and rolls to the backstop. Wild pitch, and that's going to score another run for the Eagles. And coming across the plate is Colton Graham, so Hobbs up 3-0 now here in the bottom of the first. No chance for Hoffman to try to get that one coming off the bag. Hit so hard and just quickly went to the backstop. Bases now second and third covered with runners for the Eagles. 3-0 in the bottom of the first. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Barela high curveball, and it's going to be way up towards the helmet of the catcher that time as Hoffman had to jump up for it. Kind of making sure there's no advancement on those bases as well as he's got one knocking at the door at third. Counting out of 3-1. Nobody on the first bag for the Eagles. Big breath there for Barela. Fires the fastball. Ooh, just barely missed the strike zone. Almost looked like it clipped that outside corner. He'll take the walk, though, as Kirkendall gets to take a gallop to first base. Second walk issued by Barela. Bottom of the order now for the Eagles. Kenyon Singleton, the catcher. Singleton batting .125 this season, has 1 hit. Trying to keep this inning alive for Hobbs. Also has picked up a walk this season. Takes the first pitch, swing and a miss for Singleton. A little bit of high one above the elbows that time, and full muscle on that rotation on the bat. Quick recycle there on the mound for Barela. He's ready to throw again. Here's the 0-1 going outside this time, and a little bit outside for ball 1. Bases loaded for the Eagles. Up 3-0 here with 2 down in the bottom of the first. Barela not taking a lot of time to get himself ready to go on the next pitches here. Here's the 1-1. Fastball, swing and a miss again for strike 2 for Singleton. Eagles have left 36 men on base this season, which is 12 a game, so they definitely want to improve on those numbers. And so far, they've got 3 runs to speak for here in the first. Here's the 1-2 going low for ball 2. Good eye there for Singleton. Of course, Puig would like to have another shot here in the first inning, starting off the game with that left field home run. after taking a long time out to adjust both of his batting gloves, and it paid off. Here's the 2-2. Curveball inside, and it's going to be a strikeout for Singleton on the swing. But the Hobbs Eagles definitely get some points on the board here as they finish up with 2 hits, including a home run for Socorus Puig, a RBI single for Mackay Brewer. They leave 3 on base, 3 come across. We head to the top of the second. Your score, Hobbs 3, Cleveland nothing. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Top of the second inning here at Sportsman's Park. First home game for the 3-day round-robin tournament. Hobbs taking on Cleveland. Storm at 3-0, Eagles at 2-1. Hobbs up because of a home run to start it off with Bernie Socorus Puig. RBI single for Mackay Brewer as well. Some wild pitches, etc. Eric McNabb and Colton Graham scoring along with Puig for the 3 runs. Cleveland had 3 up and 3 down to start the ball game. They're 4th in the order now, the cleanup. Brayton Elsie, the DH, on the plate now. Elsie batting .429, so he does got a good bat. He's got 3 hits, 2 runs scored, a double for the Storm so far through 3 games. First pitch, check swing off the handle. Is going to roll up the first base line. Should be an easy throw here for McPeters, and it is on the dart. Over to Alderetti, over to first base for out number 1. Hobbs taking care of business so far, keeping most of them in the infield, although Sandoval got one nailed at him hard towards second base back in the first inning. So 1 down. Curveball outside and high for ball 1, hits the middle of the backstop. Logan Kinter up now for Cleveland. He's 5th in the order. Kinter, one of their strongest hitters. He's batting .714 with 5 hits, 2 runs, 3 RBIs. No multi-base hits. Curveball inside, whacked hard down the line, over to third to Bird. Fires across the field, connects with Alderetti at first for the 5-3. Out number 2. Definitely love to put down a 700-plus hitter like that quickly. So 2 down on grounders so far for the Cleveland Storm. And now it's going to be Austin Barela, the pitcher. He's getting himself in the lineup here at lefty. Barela batting .143. Curve inside is a blooper. Going to go foul on the dribble there towards first. Covered up quickly for the Eagles by Alderetti. For ball or strike 1 there. So mentioned Barela batting .143, does have 1 hit, couple of runs, an RBI. Fastball, swing and a miss, came up underneath at that time for strike 2. So McPeters taking care of business so far, has yet to give up a hit through 5 batters, trying to make it number 6 here. Here's the 0-2 pitch, curve it outside for ball 1. Trying to make him lunge across the plate just a bit, not biting on it there was Barela, the pitcher's battle going on. One ball, 2 strikes, curve it inside. A hard shot high in the air, and it pulled down by McPeters. It did take a bounce, and he just underhands it over to Alderetti for out number 3 there at first. 3 up and 3 down, just like the first inning. A carbon copy. Grant out to pitch, Grant out to third, and back to the pitch again. We go to the bottom of the second. Your Eagles still holding on to the 3-0 lead over Cleveland. We'll come back in 60 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We're back at Sportsman's Park, the bottom of the second. Hobbs up 3-0 here against the Cleveland Storm. First game of the round-robin tournament. Nice opening crowd here for the home start of the Eagles 3-day. Game tomorrow and Saturday. We won't have any coverage tomorrow. We will have the 12:30 game on Saturday against Santa Fe High. Other teams here, Los Lunas, Belen, Clovis. Just saw Los Lunas defeating Clovis 8-1 right before this game tonight. Barela stays on the mound for Cleveland after he's given up a couple of hits, including a home run. A couple of errors in that first inning as well for Cleveland. Got some runs across. McNabb and Graham scoring along with Puig off the homer. And the best part about it is the Eagles back up at the plate. Is the man that hit the homer to start this ball game. Bernie Socorros Puig over that left field wall. Open up the scoring for Hobbs, and this time he's going to keep the gloves on, so maybe he needs to take them off here for a second and get those readjusted like he did the first time. He is the lefty. Barela quickly going to throw it inside against him. Ooh, boy, it looked like knee high that time, but umpire says it's just high enough for the strike. 0-1 count now for Barela. Here's the windup and the throw. Floater coming down the middle. Got on a little air cushion that time and floated across the strike zone for strike two. Gonna have to protect the plate now is Socorros Puig. Does not want to strike out after that homer earlier. Quick rebound here, 0-2 high for ball one. And kind of hippity hop after that for Puig. I'm not sure of what he was thinking about there. Still going to have to do a little bit of plate protection now with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Barela delivering. Curve slapped hard out to center field. It'll stay on the ground for the single. So Puig now 2 for 2 at the plate. And he hightails it there to first base. Little fist bump for his coach there. And Eagles go to second in the order now. Eric McNabb. And he got on. Not sure whether they counted that as a single there in the first inning. We'll have to double check the score on that one. It was a little late throw there for Cleveland back last time he was at the plate. So runner at first is Puig. Barela take a little bit of time. Fastball low and show a little chance for a bunt there was McNabb. They're going to call that a strike on the bottom of the strike zone that time. As McNabb looks over to Coach Boyle there at third base to get the call. Barela reloads. Takes a lot more time than he has been. Turns and fires, showing the bunt again. A dribbler down the first base line. Does he have enough speed to get over it? No, he doesn't. As underhanding is Barela, the pitcher scoops it up and fires off to Brevig for the first out. Did move the runner, though. Socorros Puig gets to second. And that'll bring up third in the order for the Eagles, Colton Graham. Graham got on due to an error back in the first inning. Scored a run eventually, though. Still 3-0 here in the bottom of the second. Favor the Eagles. Runner at second is Puig. Fastball outside for ball one. 1 ball to no strikes. Barela's already had one conference back in the first inning when the bases were loaded against him. Perez, the cleanup man, due up next for Hobbs. Fake the throw to second, and way back in time was the runner for the Eagles, Socorros Puig, and not even close that time. And the pitcher just kind of nonchalantly just turns around the pirouette and fakes the throw like he was in slow motion that time. Takes a look back at Socorros Puig. Does not want him to get any further. Turns and fires it inside. Ooh, just barely clipped the strike zone, though. Little curve action there against Graham. Even up count at 1-1 now with one down here in the bottom of the second. Eagles up 3-0 over the Cleveland Storm. 1-1 pitch going outside. Hits the plate. Second time that's happened to the game. That's going to get Puig all the way to second or make it third. Chasing it down is Hoffman to the wall behind home plate. Should I say the net? Little control problem we've seen a couple of times here so far. Temperature's starting to drop a bit here at Sportsman's Park. Count now 2-1 with one down. You're in the bottom of the second, 3-0 again, the Eagles. Here comes a 2-1 pitch now from Barela. Fires the fastball, check swing for Graham, a little bit outside, and shuffling over there forward was Hoffman on his knees that time. And it's kind of challenging play to come on down that third base line, and Bernie says, nope, I'm going to camp out here for a few seconds. He's taking a big round off there at third now, getting ready to chase to home again if he gets a chance. Here's the 3-1 pitch for Barela. High one, another hard hit out towards center. Going to keep it on the grass there, should I say the green, field turf. Coming across home plate is the score for Puig. RBI single for Colton Graham. Second run of the game there for Bernie Sikoris Puig. So Edwin Perez now has a chance to extend some runs across. He struck out back in the first inning, the DH. So Hobbs up now 4-0. Takes the first pitch strike. Low, but barely gets the bottom of the strike zone on the fastball. Barela towing the rubber now as he looks back at first. Checking out Colton Graham, who just got that RBI single. Fastball, late swing on the kind of a golf swing there for Edwin Perez, as he'll take the second strike. 0-2 count now. Major Bird due in next. He walked back in the first. RBI single for Mackay Brewer, too. He's coming up. The 0-2 coming from Barela. Fastball high, and boy, having to jump up quick is Hoffman to keep that from going over the head. It's happened a couple of times already. Hit the base twice and caused some runs to score. First ball there with 2 strikes and 1 out. Barela spies behind the plate to Hoffman, turns and fires a fastball. The steal on the way to second in time. High throw over to Kintner from Hoffman behind the plate. That's called a ball at the high pitch for 2-2 count now, and the runner at second for the Eagles. That is Colton Graham. Two balls and 2 strikes with 1 down. Barela appearing back at second. Fires and throws down the middle. Bounces off the plate again for the third time, which will advance Graham to third. Storm not doing themselves any favors with these wild pitches coming from Barela. Few in the first, and now a couple coming in the second as well. And Hobbs knocking at the door with that 1 out, trying to extend the 3-0, make it 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the second. We are slated for 7 here at Sportsman's Park. Full count now for Edwin Perez, the DH. Takes the fastball, comes off the handle, and straight back, 3D style here towards the camera on the net. Eagles so far with 3 hits, or make it 4 hits, 3 singles and a homer. That's the 4-0 lead. So Perez going to definitely protect the plate here. Fastball goes low and outside, and that will be a walk issue. That's the third one now that Barela has given up. And now he's got runners at first and third for the Eagles. Perez at first, Graham at third. Do see some action in the Clovis bullpen now, so I'm sure if anything much comes across other than this, it's going to be probably a switch on the mound there for Cleveland. Major Bird, who walked in the first, is up now. He's 5th in the order for the Eagles. Takes the fastball, hits the plate again, but this time kind of a little gamesmanship going on as Hoffman acted like that was going to go wild, but he knew that runner was trying to come home, which is Graham, and Graham puts on the brakes at third. 1 ball and no strikes, and 1 down for the Eagles. So trying to add on some insurance runs here up 4-0. Time called at the plate by Bird as he backs out. Now reading the wristband is Barela on the mound. Taking a lot more time than normal. Here's the pitch, fastball right down the pike for the strike. Holding on that one was Bird. Count goes to 1-1. Bird, little stocky junior out there. Third baseman, 225 pounds, so he just got some power behind some of his swings here. Here's the 1-1 pitch now from Barela. Fastball clips the outside corner for strike 2. So Bird's going to have to go to protect mode here. Although not down to the last out here. They still got one they can burn. Runners at first and third for the Eagles. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Varela's going to call time and stomp on the rubber at the mound. Don't forget to be with us on Saturday at 12:30 for the Santa Fe game here at Sportsman's Park. HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Here comes Varela with the 1-2. Low fastball for ball 2. Tell the Eagles kind of anticipating possibly another wild pitch off that home plate. It's been bouncing kind of hard off of it. Caused a run to score earlier. And some base runners to advance as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch coming, a curveball right down the pike as it comes down low, and swing or waiting on it that time and taking the 3rd strike is Bird. So he's going to have to go down, watching. And that'll bring up 6th in the order. Makai Brewer, the right fielder, he got an RBI single back in the 1st. In fact, the Eagles went through the whole order back in the 1st. Got all 9 batters up to the plate. That'll be out number 2 for Hobbs. Runners at first and third still. Here's the pitch from Varela going inside at the knees. They're going to say high enough, though, for the strike. 0-1 count now to Brewer. Varela takes a peek back at first. Turns and fires. Fastball off the end of the bat. It's going to go foul left. That's heading towards the parking lot a little bit there. Maybe it's curved back towards the Lady Eagles softball field behind us. Regardless of foul ball, count to 0-2. So the lefty's got to be careful here. Got to swing at anything close, does Makai Brewer. 0-2 pitch, high one. Did he get a piece of him? I don't know. He looked like he almost got hit with the ball that time. Spun him around just a bit. Inside pitch there for the lefty Brewer. So they're going to call that a ball. 1-2 count. Brewer does not have an RBI this season, but he's got a runner at third, eager to get home. That's Colton Graham. High pitch, swing and a miss there for Brewer, and that will be out number 3 for the Eagles. So the Eagles still leading, though, 4-0, as they do manage 2 hits. They leave 2 on base. Run comes home, but they leave 2 on. And we'll go to the top of the third, almost halfway there, as the Eagles up 4-0 over Cleveland. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Top of the third inning here at Sportsman's Park. Ty Friend here with you on this Thursday night. First game of the round-robin tournament for the Eagles. They lead 4-0 over Cleveland. Trying to give the Storm their first loss of the season. And Cleveland has yet to get through an order as we head to the third. They're down to number 7 now, Malachi Hermilio, the third baseman. First pitch from Zach McPeters, a fastball for the strike. Holding on it was Hermilio. Hermilio batting .429 this season. He takes a curve inside, hit hard on the ground towards second. That's Sikoris, and an easy throw over to Alderetti on the 4-3 for out number 1. Once again, Cleveland yet to get a hit so far, and we're getting through this third inning pretty quickly now. They go to 8th in the order. Gavin Hoffman, the catcher. Hoffman batting .000 at this point. No hits, 1 RBI though. Got on with the, actually walked home, or walked to get somebody home. Takes the first pitch outside. McPeters clips it for the strike. Hennessy will round out the order for Cleveland if he does get up. Curveball inside, hard down the third base line, and that's going to roll towards the wall. Chasing it for the Eagles to get out there is Kirkendall. He's going to stretch this out for a double, and the throw on the relay gets bounced around out in left field, so that will be a double for Hoffman. First hit of the ball game for the Cleveland Storm, 8th in the order, thanks to Hoffman on that one. And it looks like he's going to bring out a courtesy runner as well for Cleveland. It looks like number 6 to me. Haven't had a chance to get my binoculars out yet. Roman Branaugh is the courtesy runner for Cleveland. He's at second. One down here in the top of the third. Bottom of the order, Brandon Hennessy, the right fielder. Hennessy batting .250. He has a couple of hits, 3 runs, and RBI. Fastball, late swing for Hennessy for strike one. Also a triple this season, just a sophomore too. Trying to get his Storm back in this one here in the top of the third. Hobbs up 4-0. McPeters now with an 0-1 count. Looks back at second for the courtesy runner. Turns and fires a fastball. Hard shot there. Swing and a miss for Hennessy. Sandoval, Tyler, and Dominic. 1, 2, and 3 in the order for Cleveland after Hennessy. Peters takes a peek back at second. Big leadoff there. Curveball high for ball one. Count goes to 1-2. Of course, Cleveland was hosting a tournament last week the Eagles participated in, and now they're down here to return the favor for Hobbs for 3 days of baseball. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Zach McPeters, taking on number 8, 9 in the order, Hennessy. Curve inside, another hard swing and a miss for strike 3. That'll be the second K put up by Zach McPeters so far. And we go to the top of the order for the Storm. That's DJ Sandoval, the shortstop, who flew over to Sikoris at second. Actually, it was more not really a fly. It went hard towards the middle number of the chest there of Sikoris. Making a good snag there back in the first inning. 2 down here in the top of the third. 4-0 Hobbs. Ooh, curveball almost goes over the top of the head and does of Sandoval. Nice save from behind the plate by Singleton to make sure that didn't advance a runner to third. Major curve on top of that one over the helmet of Sandoval. I'm surprised that Singleton able to pull that thing down. Fastball down the middle. You can hear this lap of the glove on that one for the strike. Singleton only 5'10", but somehow got up there to save that wild pitch. That would have got the runner to third there and put Cleveland in scoring position. 1-1 pitch for McPeters. Fastball off the middle of the bat. It's going to go foul towards the JV field on the right side. Takes a few bounces over there. They'd have another game going on next door with this round-robin tournament. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McPeters trying to get out of this one with no runs coming across. And a 4-run cushion for the Eagles. McPeters back to second, then turns and fires a fastball high for ball 2. Evens up the count at 2-2. Only hit of the game coming from Hoffman just seconds ago, 8th in the order. Now top of the order with Sandoval, facing a 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Curve it inside. Knuckler out to left field. It will take a bounce. Gets past the shortstop, come over to help Graham, and advance the runner to third. So the single out to left field shallow for Sandoval. Second hit of the ball game for the Storm. So Chase Tyler now will step up. The shortstop, actually left fielder, ground out to short. Hit over towards Graham back in the first inning. Timeout was called for second as Singleton talking to McPeters. And Coach Boyle getting some signals out to his pitcher McPeters and also watching to his Singleton. As Boyle beelined out of the dugout there for a second. So scoring position now for the Storm. That's the courtesy runner, Roman Branaugh. Runner at first as well, which is Sandoval. First pitch coming, fastball hit high up in the air. Is going to be kind of float towards McPeters. Now it's going to go back behind the plate and catch by the big catcher, Singleton. That thing was floating. Looked like it was going to head out towards McPeters at the mound and then just kind of stays behind the plate. Wouldn't say behind the clouds. We don't have any clouds here tonight. But out number 3 as Tyler flies out to Singleton. Although Couple of hits converted there for Cleveland. They got a single and a double for 2, but they leave 2 on base, no run score. We head to the bottom of the third, and Hobbs holding on to that 4-0 lead over the Cleveland Storm. Back with you in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live at Sportsman's Park, a curveball hit hard out to short. It looks like the throw is going to be in time. Boy, what a whack by Marcus Alderetti. And the throw gets there just before he gets to first base. Thought that was going to get through the shortstop. Nice play over at short by Sandoval. Got down on his knees between second and third and able to dig that one out a bit. Go to 8th in the order now. That's Easton Kirkendall got a walk back in the first inning. Of course, the Eagles went through 9 batters, had a couple of walks in that first. 3 overall now for Hobbs, a low fastball. Swing and a miss there for the Eagle. 0-1 count now for Kirkendall. He's 8th in the order. Singleton is 9th. Due up next. Fastball comes low and inside for ball 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. Near the bottom of the third, Hobbs up 4-0. 5-2 hit count so far in favor of Hobbs. 2 hits coming in the last inning, or this inning, for Cleveland. Curveball inside. This is going to go foul up over the top of the press box here behind home plate. Definitely out of play. Count to 1-2. Eagles getting a home run from Bernie Socorus Puig to start the game. A single for Eric McNabb. RBI single for Makai Brewer. Socorus Puig also a single and an RBI single from Colton Graham. Curve inside and a little slap at it down the third baseline. Should be a high throw, and it's going to be a tag attempt there. The first base ump kind of came off the bag and was waiting a second to make the call. High throw coming from third from Jaramillo over to Brevig at first, and it looked like he got down in time, but he might have come off the bag a little bit and missed the tag. First base umpire going to get some words from the Cleveland coaching staff now, as that will be a single for Kirkendall. So Kirkendall's been on base both times that he's been up. Bottom of the order now, Kenyon Singleton, the catcher, struck out back in the first inning. Long delay here as the coach heading back to the dugout now. As first base ump getting a little bit of a earful there. Took a little bit of time to make the call on that one, and I don't know if she was waiting to see if there was a juggle of the ball or foot off the bag or what there. Barella still on the mound for Cleveland. Runner at first for the Eagles, up 4-0. Fastball showing bunt look is Singleton. Throw to first is going to bounce off the webbing of the glove there of Brevig. The throw from behind the plate from Hoffman. And that'll bobble down that first base line to the right field. He's got to go chase it himself, does Brevig. Enough time for the runner to advance. That's Easton Kirkendall to second. So some mistakes here from Cleveland. Been advancing the runners throughout this game so far. That's the 4-0 lead for the Eagles. Singleton now at the 1-0 count. Looks over to Coach Boyle. Runner at second. We mentioned Kirkendall. Here's the pitch from Barela. Fastball off the handle to the middle of the backstop for the strike. Foul. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 down. Bottom of the third, still 4-0. Eagles picked up 3 of their runs in the first inning. one in the second. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Barela. Curve and floats down to the strike zone area. Holding on it was Singleton to pick up the strike on that one. Wicked floater there coming inside for Barela. 1-2 count. Not only caring about the second base runner, but now he's looking back at Kirkendall. Turns and fires a fastball. Golf swing high out towards left field, and it might be shallow. The shortstop kind of zigzagging his way over there. Gets down on one knee to make the catch at Sandoval. Just out to the green, past the gap there between second and third for the out. Got down low to make that catch. It's a nice job for Sandoval. So Singleton, unfortunately, will have to take a seat. Top of the order now for the Eagles, who's perfect so far, 2 for 2. And that is Bernie Socorris Puig. Home run, a single, and got runs on both of those on top of it. 2 down, though, for the Eagles here in the bottom of the third. Runner at second. And the lefty, of course, Socorris Puig. Here's the pitch, curving inside, and backs him up. But the ump's going to say that just barely came into the strike zone. And looks like Puig started to back it out before really could tell where that ball is going to end up. Eagle just kind of holding out there at second. That is Easton Kirkendall. Bounce towards third base is going to go foul towards the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Little jab at the ball that time by Socorris Puig, and he's used to hitting the long ball, the home run like he had back in the first inning, and a little bit of a fencing foil there that time for him. 0-2 count now. Got to be protective of the plate is Socorris Puig. Kirkendall gets a spy from Barela. Curveball inside, a swing and a miss. That will be strike 3 and out 3 for the Eagles. So far, Hobbs has struck out 6 times, but they still have the 4-0 lead. 1 hit, 1 left on base, no runs come across. We head to the top of the 4th, and Hobbs still up 4-0 here at Sportsman's Park. Stay with us on this Thursday night. We'll be back in 60 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Home opener for the Hobbs Eagles here at Sportsman's Park. Ty Friend here with you as the Eagles lead 4-0, top of the 4th inning over the Cleveland Storm. First game of the 3-game series for the Eagles in this round-robin / tournament, if you want to call it that. But lots of good action. Santa Fe will be here Saturday. They've got Los Lunas and Clovis, a couple other teams as well. And it's going to be Cleveland at the plate now, third in the order. Jace Dominic, he struck out back in the first inning for the third out. He's a lefty. Only 2 hits given up by Zach McPeters. Curveball comes elbow high and backs up Dominic as McPeters doesn't want him protecting that plate too much. Get the heck away from it. Here's the 1-0 for McPeters. Fastball down low and barely misses the strike zone for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Dominic, third in the order. Elzy, the cleanup man, next. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball outside for ball 3. So Dominic getting well ahead of the count here. A little bit more time now for McPeters. Get the call he wants from behind the plate from Singleton. Fastball and clips the bottom of the strike zone for strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch. Curve it inside. Knuckler off the handle. Is going to go over the top of our heads here in the press box for a full count now to Dominic. Dominic came to this game batting .667, so he definitely can hit the ball. Fastball barely misses outside for ball 4. So that will send Dominic to first base on the walk. Only the first walk given up by McPeters in this ball game as we're into the 4th inning, so more than halfway through this contest. Cleanup man now, Brayton Elsie, the DH. He ground out to McPeters back in the second inning for the first out. 2 hits so far for Cleveland, coming a double from Hoffman and a single from Sandoval. Fastball right down the middle for the strike. Holding on it was Elsie. He's got a runner at first. No outs here for Cleveland, who trails 4-0 to the home team, the Eagles. 0-1 pitch, curve, and turning his shoulder away from it was Elsie. Trying to get a bite from the ump and got the count to 1-1. That one a ball. Big lead at first for Dominic. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here comes McPeters with a fastball. Try to keep that a little bit outside and clip the corner for strike 2. Kinter, Barela, and Hermilio up next for Cleveland. 5 through 7 in the order. Peters takes the peek at first. Turns and fires a curve. Almost took the head off there of Elsie, and jumping behind it is Singleton to make sure that didn't go wild. Count even up now at 2-2. Peters gives a big thumbs up over to Alderetti there at first, and definitely like to keep this game scoreless. Another curve, kind of a check swing there by Elsie, and the umpire is going to hold and call that a ball and get some groans here from the press box. Pitcher's dad not liking that one too much. He'll remain nameless. Also the scorekeepers, I better be quiet here. Full count now for Zach McPeters. Runner at first, turns and fires a fastball at the end of the bat. It's going to take a drop out in center field, a bounce, and that will be a single converted by Brayton Elsie. 3rd hit of the game for the Storm. Runners at first and second with no outs. And 5th in the order, Logan Kintner. Kintner ground out to 3rd back in the second inning. Taking care of it was Bird for the Eagles. Kintner batting .714 up to this game, so he definitely can extend it. He's got a couple of RBIs, actually 3 of them so far. No multi-base hits yet, so all of them coming on singles. He's still at a butt, and boy, that gets some air underneath it. Goes over the top of the Hobbs Eagle dugout. Boy, he had both the hand on the top of the bat and the handle and just kind of lunged at it, and it sailed high. That would have stayed in play. Might have even gone all the way out to 3rd base. Still no outs for the Eagles. 3-2 count here. Peters looks back at second. Also got a runner at first to deal with. Curveball high and out inside for a ball. Cleveland trying to get their first runs of the ball game. They're down 4-0 here in the top of the 4th, slated for 7. Big leadoffs at both first and second for the Storm. Curve comes inside and barely inside. They're going to call that a ball. The umpire just kind of pointing toward the knees of Kintner. Peters takes a little bit of walk around the mound a little bit behind it and trying to recollect his thoughts here. Takes a peek back at second, turns and fires. Fastball. And they're going to say too high. Hobbs fans getting a little bit antsy here. Full count, 3-2 now for McPeters as he continues to face Kintner. Barela, the pitcher, will be up next. A lot of these guys, about 4 through 7, 4 through 8, have had ground outs so far. Fastball outside, that will be a walk, unfortunately, for Kintner. Just the second walk issued to the Storm. And now Barela will step up, 6th in the order. He ground out to first for the last out of the second. That's going to be a timeout here, as the Eagles will have a meeting of the minds on the mound. Talk a little bit to Peters. Of course, Peters coming in with a 1-0 record so far with the victory at the Cleveland tournament. We'll take a quick break here, 30 seconds. Hobbs up 4-0 here in the top of the 4th. Come back with us on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Coach Bowman gets done with his conference with Zach McPeters, the starting pitcher for the Eagles, who's gone up through here this fourth inning. Still 4-0 Hobbs. Runners at first and second. Actually, all bases loaded, should I say, here, and no outs. That's the important part right now. Peters turns and fires. Fastball. Barely misses outside for ball one. Austin Barela ground out to first, last out of the second inning. Emilio, Hoffman, and Hennessy round out the order. Curveball inside. This is going to be a long ball towards center field, right center. Bounces at the wall. Coming back to get it, the center fielder for the Eagles, McNabb. It's going to be enough time for a double, and we'll send home some runners for Cleveland. So a 2 RBI double for Austin Barela, the pitcher. And Cleveland, just like that, gets half of the runs back to make it 4-2. Here in the top of the fourth. I think just sailed towards right center. McNabb had to slide over there towards the American flag near the scoreboard to come up with that. It took a bounce. I don't know if it hit the wall or not, but it was pretty close past the warning track there. Time called. The umpires saying something to the Cleveland coach. I'm not sure if they need to get some more baseballs in here or not. I believe that's what it might be. Oh, they had some equipment left out on the field. The catcher had to go get that back. Zach McPeters still on the mound for the Eagles. 1-0 count, and runners at second and third. 2 runs have scored here. Curve inside and brushes back Malachi Hermilio, who ground out to second back in the third inning. Four hits so far for Cleveland. Fastball goes low for ball two. Doesn't look like there's any movement in the bullpen right now, but of course, high school baseball, a lot of guys play more than one position, and pitcher could be the number 2, so that's won't have really a chance to practice. Curve inside, it'll be fouled out towards right field, but it'll be outside the first baseline. Chasing it down is Hennessy for Cleveland to get it back in to the infield. No correction, what am I saying? Hennessy, Brewer for the Eagles. Back to the plate goes Hermilio. Count to 2-1. Runners at second and third for the Storm, knocking on the door. They trail 4-2 after 2 runs scored. McPeters goes fastball, clips the bottom of the strike zone for strike 2. Evens up the count at 2-2, and a lot of infield work coming in. Sikoris and Graham chasing in towards the infield in case that would have stayed down. Here's the 2-2 pitch now from McPeters. Curve inside and brushing back again. Hermilio. Full count now. Hobbs kind of squeezing in on the infield now as they know that there's some runners that want to come home to possibly tie this game up. The tying runs on second and third for the Storm. Here's the 3-2 curve, lunging out for it, and couldn't get it straightened out as it rolls towards the Hobbs Eagle dugout on the left side for Hermilio. Kind of extended his body like he was starting to run before he actually got the full connect on the ball that time. Still no outs for the Hobbs defense at this point. Back in the box comes Hermilio. Big leadoffs for the Storm. Fastball, little check swing, and it'll be out to foul territory out past the first baseline. Rolls down the side fence. See, Cleveland first base coach just kind of laid out of the way that time. Still full count here, faced by Hermilio. Zach McPeters working on the first out here in the top of the fourth, leading 4-2. Fastball, and just holding on it was Hermilio. They're going to call that a walk. So that's going to be the third walk now, given to the Storm, and bases are loaded with no outs. Coach Boyle nervously tossing the ball left to right hand here and kind of walking around the dugout at this point in front of it on the field. So bases loaded now for the Storm. They've had 4 hits so far up to this fourth inning. Peters with a curveball comes down the pike for the strike, and waiting on it was Gavin Hoffman. He had a double first hit of the ball game back in the third inning. He's 8th in the order for the Storm. Quick reload here for McPeters. Curve and clicks right down the middle again for strike 2. So getting a little rhythm here, Zach McPeters, as he kind of hurries up his delivery a little bit. Not giving a lot of time for Hoffman to think about it. Takes a peek back at second as McPeters. Flash it right down the middle again for the fastball. A little low this time for ball one. Count goes to 1-2. Hobbs would love to have a double play opportunity here. Get some of those outs on the board. Here's the 1-2 pitch now from McPeters. Fires a fastball high and outside for ball two. Evens up the count at 2-2. Runners at all three bases for the Storm. Peters turns, fires, curveball, swing and a miss for strike three. Eagle fans reacting loudly here to get some enthusiasm back into Sportsman's Park. So Hoffman will take a seat. That is the second K put against the Storm so far. Ninth in the order now, Brandon Hennessy. He struck out back in the third. He's ninth in the order, as we mentioned. This runner's still on all three bases, though, with one down. Goes the fastball low for ball one. DJ Sandoval, Chase Tyler, and Jace Dominic, 1, 2, and 3 in the order, with only one hit on all three of those batters. Each of them have gone up twice so far. Here's the 1-0 now for McPeters. Fastball, and it's going to be aired out foul behind home plate. Out towards the JV field on the right here. Count evens up at 1-1. Getting this going, 7 innings here at Sportsman's Park. Day one of the round-robin tourney. 1-1 pitch for McPeters. A little change-up here as it floats across the plate for the strike. That caught Hennessy by surprise, the little floater there. Count now 1-2. Eagles double play would get them out of this top of the fourth. Fastball, late swing, and that will sit down Brandon Hennessy. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zach McPeters, and 2 down now for Cleveland. They did get 2 runs coming across already. But Hobbs still up with that 2-run lead. Runners on all three bases, and that brings up the top of the order DJ Sandoval. He is 1 of 2, flew out to second and had a single. Second hit of the ball game for Cleveland. Fastball heads outside and barely clips that corner for strike one, and kind of lunging for it there was Singleton, the catcher, trying to keep that from going wild. Peters turns and fires the same spot, deep right corner, and this time a little too low for ball one. Count now to 1-1. Of course, some big leadoffs now for the Storm, knowing that they have just 1 out left in this top of the fourth. Curveball inside, it comes down the pike. The last second, nice little angle on that one as the count goes to 1-2. Sandoval's going to have to get that protection mode going here. Doesn't want to have to go down swinging and keeping all those men on base. Here's the 1-2 pitch from McPeters. Fastball, swing and a miss, and strike three. 3 Ks in a row for Zach McPeters to get out kind of a ugly start to a fourth inning, but he takes care of business to wrap it up there. Cleveland had 2 hits. 2 runs scored, but left 3 on base. Bases loaded as Zach McPeters throws 3 Ks to get out of the top of the fourth. Your score 4-2 as we will head to the bottom of the fourth. Eagles at the plate. Stay with us live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We're back live at Sportsman's Park. Your Hobbs Eagles lead 4-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. Eagles at the plate. Hit count so far 5-4 in favor of the Eagles. Home run for Bernie Socorris Puig. And 4 singles, 1 for McNabb. Also an RBI single for Colton Graham. RBI single for Mackay Brewer. And Easton Kirkendall had a single. Hobbs second in the order now. McNabb at the plate. First pitch hits hard off the home plate and rolls to the backstop. McNabb is 1 for 2, had a single, a run, and ground out to the pitcher back over to Barela. That one happening in the second inning. Barela goes with a little curve and floats and almost hits the back of McNabb as he gets out of the way just in time. Count goes to 2-0, and the Eagles definitely like to get some insurance runs up, only just by 2 now, 4-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Barela goes the fastball off the end of the bat, going to take a bounce towards first, going to be covered by the shortstop, but then they flick it to the pitcher at the last second. That was coming from Brevig to Barela, who does a good job of covering first to get the grab there for the stomp on the bag for out number 1. That'll bring up third in the order, Colton Graham. He got on due to an error back in the first, which led to a run for the Eagles and an RBI single. So he's 1 of 2 at the plate so far. One of the 5 hits for the Eagles. Runner, nobody on base at this point. Fastball outside for ball 1 for Graham. One ball, no strike. Here comes Barela. High fastball goes off the webbing of the glove of Hoffman, the catcher. Sails to the middle of the backstop. Coach over in the dugout likes to yell out numbers. I'm not sure if that means anything. Sometimes they just do that to get in the head of the hitter. Not quite sure about that. We'll see. 2-0 count now. Fastball, and a little flinch there that time by the Eagle, Colton Graham. I wasn't sure if you wanted to swing full on that or not, but count goes to 2-1. Waggling the bat just a bit as Graham takes the fastball a little late and kind of trips himself across the plate for strike 2 as he swung hard on that one. He's eager to get this thing in play, and a little adjustment of his clothing there and gets the helmet set back on his head right as kind of came across the plate a little hard that time. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Barela. Fastball outside for ball 3. We go to a full count on Colton Graham. Bottom of the 4th, 4-2. Eagles led 3-0 early in this game, and last inning, or top of the 4th, came back at a curveball for strike 3, and throwing his bat, thinking there's going to be a walk, was Colton Graham, and takes a look back at the official, shaking his head no, but unfortunately, the lobby's not going to change the call. So that's a strikeout for Colton Graham. He had thrown the bat and taken a glove off and was starting to run up that first baseline, and fortunately, he's got to go to the dugout now. That's out number 2 now for the Eagles. That's going to bring up the cleanup man, Edwin Perez. He's 0 for 1, struck out and walked. Takes the first pitch foul outside for ball 1. Major Bird up next. 5th in the order, 6th, Makai Brewer. Barela now wind up and the throw. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. Eagles facing 2 outs here. Bottom of the 4th. Little delay here for Barela. Takes a big side, turns and fires. Fastball down the middle, and just waiting on it that time was Perez, and he paid the price with a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Both Bird and Brewer have gotten on base. And strike 3, swing and a miss there for Perez. He's going to have to take a seat. And that is out number 3. So Eagles not very productive in the bottom of the 4th. Ground out, a couple of strikeouts, no hits, nobody on base. We head to the top of the 5th. As the Eagles still holding on to a 4-2 lead. 5 hits compared to 4 for the Storm. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back to live action at Sportsman's Park. The Hobbs Eagles lead 4-2 over the Cleveland Storm. Top of the 5th inning. Ty Friend here with you. 2-run lead, and it's Cleveland at the plate. First pitch coming from McPeter's curve inside. It'll bounce foul outside the first base, and jumping over there, hippity-hop Alderete to pull it. Alderete put it down that time. At the plate, Chase Tyler for the Storm. He's 0 for 2. He ground out to Colton Graham, the shortstop, and flew out behind home plate to Singleton, the catcher. Here's the 0-1 pitch. McPeter's slowing up a little curve there and clips the outside corner for strike 2. Tyler watched that one. Again, 5 hits for the Eagles, 4 for the Storm. High pitch, going to go high in the air, too. Is going to sail towards short and third, and looks like Colton Graham's going to call everybody off. Runs in towards the pitching mound, makes a one-hand catch, and out number 2 for the Eagles on the defense. Should I say out 1 there? So 1 down, third in the order now. Jace Dominic. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, also walked and scored a run. Peters is going to throw this one outside and trying to tip it off the end of the bat there on appeared to be some type of a bunt. Didn't get much of an extension where he wanted it for Dominic. That'll foul out past the outside the third baseline. He is a lefty for Cleveland. Line up in the throw from McPeters goes inside. A swing and a miss for Dominic. Count goes to 0-2. 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Peters staring behind the plate now, looking at Singleton. Fastball. Saying going to be a little low for ball 1. Cleveland struck out 5 times so far and have gotten 3 walks on top of their 4 hits. 2 doubles and a couple of singles for the Storm offensively. Here's the 1-2 pitch from McPeters. Fastball inside, going to head out towards left center field. A leaping attempt goes over the head and trying to get a piece of it there. The left fielder for the Eagles after the double, though, that was Kirkendall. So converting the double, Dominic. And now Elzy will step up, the cleanup man for the Storm. He's 1 of 2, ground out to McPeters at the mound, and a single with a run scored for Elzy. So now Cleveland getting that runner on second after the double. And good attempt there to get up as high as he could was Kirkendall for the Eagles. Had to really run hard towards left center field to make a play on. I'm not sure if it actually hit his glove or when he got a poke at it or not, but he was as high as he could get on that one. And back up from behind was McNabb, the center fielder, had to head over there as well towards left. Elzy at the plate now as McPeters goes fastball and barely misses outside corner low for ball 1. Tying run at the plate here is Elzy. Fastball high for ball 2, jumping quick as Singleton and caught it near the helmet of Elzy as he knew there was a runner at second there and was trying to get in position to make a play. Didn't have to throw it though. 2-0 pitch coming from McPeters. Fastball and middle of the bat is going to go foul, and actually it gets through the netting above us here right off to the right side of the press box, and fan is going to pull that one down. I think it's one of the JV baseball players for the Eagles. 2 balls and 1 strike now as Peters facing Elzy, the cleanup man for the Storm. Curve inside, golf swing out towards left field. It's going to head towards the fence, and it's going to get over deep in the left corner for a home run. 2-run homer to tie it up here for Brayton Elzy. So 2 RBIs for him as well. And that was also scoring Jace Dominic. And that's going to give Cleveland now 6 hits so far as they tie up the ball game. We're 4-4 here in the top of the 5th inning. Elzy now 2 for 3, had a single, a 2 RBI homer we just saw, and a couple of runs. And we got a 4-4 ball game. Luckily, not a lead, though, for Cleveland. Logan Kittner's coming in now. He's one of their big hitters. Came in the game at 7-14, but not great so far. 0 for 1, grounded to the third, and walked. He'd get on base once because of the walk. Fouled the first, 0-1 count now. 1 down here in the top of the 5th. Curveball, yanked out towards left again. This is a shallow shot. It'll take a bounce, a couple of bounces, and finally backhanding it is Kirkendall. Run out there to try to help shortstop Colton Graham, but not quick enough as that will be a single for Kittner. So back-to-back hits now for the Cleveland Storm. We have now 7 total. Now stepping up for the Storm, Barela, the pitcher. He had a two RBI double back in the 4th inning. He is a lefty. He has a runner at first as well. McPeters takes a peek back at first, turns and fires, curve it, and getting it inside, but the strike call there. Count goes to 0-1. Emilio, Hoffman, and Hennessy, 7 through 9 in the order, up next. They get that far with 1 out here. Peters the 0-1, curve high for ball 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. There on the top of the 5th, 4-4 ball game. Slated for 7 or more if needed. A little bit of a stall here for McPeters. Checking that runner again to make sure he's not getting too far ahead. Here's the pitch going low this time on the fastball and clips that bottom of the strike zone for strike 2. Holding on, it was Barela that time. Pitcher versus pitcher here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barela changing the pitch call here a few times, and a time call. Stepping out is Barela. Kind of messing with McPeters just a bit there at the last second, pulling out. Couple practice swings now for Barela. He's ready back in the box. Bouncing it off his left shoulder. Here's the pitch. Fastball smacked hard towards short. Diving scoop of it for Graham, and fires it to first. Decided not to go to second. I know Puig didn't get there quick enough or not to flick it to him to second, but decides to throw a hard one over to first, over to his teammate Alderetti for the out. Nice hard throw there for Colton Graham. And you think he was going to try to flick it over there, underhanded over to Sikoris Puig, but not sure if there was just a delay there or what. But he was way behind the second base when he made the stop on top of the ball that time. Got himself down on the field turf. That'll be out number 2. Now it's Malachi Hermilio. He's 0 for 1. He ground out to second and walked. Fastball, a little high for ball 1. Runner at second now for Cleveland. Eagles just need 1 more outs and get their offense up to the plate. Peters taking a peek back at second, turns and fires. Hat came off as he throws it inside. Swing and a miss for Hermilio. Shaking off some of the only dirt that's on the field and spitting in his hat now is McPeters. Of course, this is a field turf field now and dirt mounds. 1-1 count now for McPeters, facing Hermilio, 7th in the order. Fastball right down the middle for the strike. Millen's going to have to protect the plate now at the 1-2 count. Doesn't want to leave that runner stranded at second. That would actually be the first lead of the ball game for Cleveland if he'd come across home plate. Here comes a 1-2 for McPeters. Fastball off the handle. It's going to go foul right towards the JV field. Guess they do have a game going on there right now for the round robin varsity teams. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner at second for the Storm, trying to break a 4-4 tie. Here's the pitch. Fastball outside for ball 2. We're even up at 2-2. Hoffman has a double back in the first, or making the 3rd inning. He's up next if he gets a chance with the 2 outs. Then the bottom of the order, Hennessy, who struck out twice. Peters has struck out 5 batters so far, trying to make it the 6th here. Curve inside, keep it on the ground to Graham at short. He'll turn and fire, should be in time. A low throw, dug out of the turf by Alderetti for out number 3. So 2 of those plays there from Colton Graham. But some hits coming for the Storm. They got 3 of them. They scored 2 runs, leave 1 on base, and we've got a 4-4 ball game heading to the bottom of the 5th. The Hobbs Eagle Bats coming up next on your Hobbs Eagle Network. Bottom of the fifth inning here at Sportsman's Park. The Eagles and the Storm from Cleveland, Rio Rancho. 4-4 your score. I'm Ty Friend here with you tonight, opening home game of the season for the Eagles in their round-robin three-day tournament. A couple of big hits coming in from Cleveland just moments ago. A double, home run, and a single as they get 2 runs to come across. Eagles had 5 hits so far. Homer by Bernie Socorro's Puig to get the game going in the first inning. And since that time, 4 singles, McNabb, Brewer, Kirkendall, and Graham. At the plate is Major Bird. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. Fastball takes the first swing hard, and it'll sail out atop of the dugout here for the foul ball. Bird is the cleanup man, 4th in the order for the Eagles. Or should I say 5th in the order for Hobbs, the third baseman. Definitely need to tack on some runs here to take the lead. Fastball barely misses outside for ball 1. Evens up the count at 1-1. Checking his armband is Barela, who's gone the distance, as well as McPeters for the Eagles, both the starters, still on the mounds for their respective teams. And 1-1 pitch, fastball low for ball 2. Storm came in with a 3-0 record. Now all 3 games won at home at their round robin up there last weekend, and Eagles went 2-1 at that tournament. Got some wins against Berlin and Piedra Vista. Fastball is going to be jacked high for the golf swing, and that's going out to the parking lot, maybe the street actually out there. And looks like it bounces into the street. Boy, that comes over a little bit to the right, and we got a home run there for Mr. Bird. I did have a fly on that one, but fortunately it yanked quickly, though, to the left and sailed out to the street. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss, and pirouetting that time. No contact for Bird for strike 3. That is the 9th strikeout for the Eagles offense. Got to get something going here as they are tied with Cleveland 4-4. Makai Brewer is now up. He's 1 for 2. Had an RBI single back in the first and struck out in the third, the last out of the third inning. Braley going to way inside that time. Almost took out the knees of Brewer. Braley gets himself back up on the mound. Fastball right down the middle for the strike. Count goes to 1-1. Brewer, the youngest kid on the team, just sophomore. Just one of those on the squad this year. 8 seniors, 3 juniors, and 1 sophomore. Fastball come up underneath. That does Brewer for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eagles with 1 out. Nobody on the bases at this point. Definitely could use a hit here. Here comes a 1-2 from Barela. Fastball and a low one. Over the top of it is Brewer for strike 3. So Hobbs now with 4 Ks in a row going back to the 4th inning. And they are wanting a hit badly. Marcus Alderetti, the first baseman, will step up. He's 0 for 2, struck out and ground to the short. Over to Sandoval in his last at bat. That was back in the 3rd inning. Curve inside, another hit to Sandoval on the ground, and he's going to turn and fire and gets it over to first base on the 6-2-3 to Brevig for out number 3. So the Hobbs Eagles could not muster a hit in the bottom of the 5th. Go to the top of the 6th. We got a 4-4 ball game here at Sportsman's Park. Stay with us live as we come back with Hobbs Eagle Baseball on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. It's been a momentum shifter here at Sportsman's Park. Eagles are up 3-0 in the first inning, 4-0 after a run in the second. But it's been all Cleveland the last couple of innings. The 4th and the 5th, they scored twice in both. And now we got a 4-4 ball game. Game 1 of the 3-game series here for the Eagles at Sportsman's Park. They'll have a game tomorrow and then Saturday. While the Saturday matchup at 12:30 against Santa Fe High right here on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Cleveland up at the plate now, top of the 6th. Again, we're tied 4-4. Takes the first pitch, fastball outside for ball 1. Zach McPeters on the mound. He's been the starter. And Bray, the starter for Cleveland. Fastball gets the bottom of the strike zone for the strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. The windup of the throw. Curve and almost gets the back of Hoffman. Hoffman is 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. Fastball outside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike now for Hoffman. He's 8th in the order for the Storm. Brandon Hennessy is 9th. He struck out twice. Now, quick time called as Alderetti comes out and talks to his pitcher McPeters. No runners on at this point here in the top of the 6th. Here's the windup of the throw now from McPeters. Keeps it inside. A knuckler is going to go foul quickly outside the third baseline. Coach Bowman, the pitching coach for the Eagles, tracks that one down for Hobbs. So full count going to be up for Hoffman. He was the guy that got their hitting started in the 3rd inning after the Eagles are up 4-0. Curveball jacked out across the top of the dugout on the right side and top of the Cleveland Storm side of the field. Goes into the bullpen. Looks like Cleveland's got some work going on in the bullpen as well. But they're at the plate right now. Here's the full count pitch coming from McPeters. Fastball, and just barely misses low for ball 4. That was close. First walk for Hoffman. That is the 4th walk given to the Storm. So they have a runner at first with no outs. Coach Boyle's looking to the dugout right now. I don't see any action going on in the bullpen, but of course that could probably mean there's a pitcher out in the field that would come in if needed. But Coach is going to stay off. He's not going out to the field. Has some confidence in his starter. Of course, you got to remember, Peters 8-0 last year. Got his team all the way to the state championship game. And umps having a discussion here behind the plate. It was one of the Cleveland Storm coaches coming over. Let's see if we got a change at the bat here. Okay, looks like we got a change on the batting lineup here. This guy was a courtesy runner earlier, Roman Brainaw. So Brainaw's going to be up now. He's going to show bunt, too. Off the end of the bat, roll it down the third baseline, and we got an easy pickup and a throw, but overthrown by Bird across the top of first base. No chance to pull it down for Alderetti, so a big error on that one. Brings a scoring run, and a runner all the way trying to get to third on the slide. They get him tagged out, though. As chasing over there, I believe it was Colton Graham covering third for that out. But unfortunately, the errant throw coming from Bird over to first is going to get that run to score. But they do get the tag out of third on the second runner, and that's thanks to Colton Graham covering that third base. So fielder's choice there for Hennessy. That will score Hoffman. Actually, it was an error on the throw, I should say. That's from Bird over to first. So that'll get a run scored. It looks like Zach McPeters will exit the ball game on the mound as Cleveland takes the lead 5-4 here in the top of the 6th. So it's going to be a pitching change here momentarily.
Get your head up, kid.
It looks like stepping up to the mound to the warm-up. He'll be the new pitcher for the Eagles. That's Marcus Alderetti. We mentioned him in the pregame show, of course. Saw some action last year in the state championship game as the third pitcher on the mound. Came out of the dugout. Of course, he'll make a change over there at first as well because he was playing first just seconds ago. We'll take a break here as he warms up. We are in the top of the 6th, 7-5, or make it 5-4 in favor of Cleveland, who've had 7 hits so far. And we'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. New pitcher in for the Hobbs Eagles here in the top of the sixth. Eagles now trailing 5-4 in this one as the Cleveland Storm scored due to an error on a throw. Marcus Alderete, he's been in 2 games so far, has 1 save, no win-loss record at this point. So he's in relief for Zach McPeters, trying to show a bunt for the Cleveland Storm, and going low and outside of the first baseline was DJ Sandoval. He was 1 for 3 so far, fouled out to second, got a single and a strikeout. So Zach McPeters finishes up through 5 innings, heading into the 6th. So 6 1/3 is what he ends up with. A curveball inside, hit on the ground to grab it. Short turns and fires and nails it over to first base for the first out. Nice hard throw there as he connects with Zach McPeters, who just switched from the mound. He was the starting pitcher. Cleveland finished up with 7 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts off the pitching of McPeters. Fastball down the middle for Alderete, a little low for the ball. Count goes to 1-0. Here's the windup of the throw. Curveball inside. Tyler's going to yank it towards the third baseline out to left field. And he's going to chug it to second. It's going to be a throw from Graham off the relay. Does he get it there in time? And yes, the tag out. Nice job to get over there to make the play. Socorus Puig, as Graham came to get the relay at short up into the left field area, and then turned and fired hard to second and tags the runner out. So that's a quick couple outs to finish up the top of the 6th. So no hits, no runs scored, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. Eagles, or actually, 1 run scored, 5-4. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Eagles trying to get back in this one live at Sportsman's Park. Stay with us on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Back here at Sportsman's Park, bottom of the 6th inning, Hobbs Eagle offense at the plate. They trail 5-4, their first deficit in this ball game. And it looks like we've got possibly a change on the pitching mound as well for Cleveland. It looks like it'll be Logan Kintner. Kintner was already in the game at second base, but he will be the warm-up or the reliever for Barela. So it seems like we got a pretty carbon copy situation. Barela lasted up to the 6th, and of course Zach McPeters was pulled from the Hobbs Eagles after going up to the 6th inning. So new pitcher on the mound is Kintner. And for the Hobbs Eagles, Kirkendall will step up. He's 8th in the order, 1 for 1 with a single and a walk, so he's been on base both times, but trailing by 1 run here. Kintner going with the fastball low for ball 1. And already got the catcher running out there, Hoffman, trying to get some communication going with the new pitcher. Eagles were able to pick up 5 hits against Barela. They also had 3 walks and were struck out 9 times. The Eagles led early 3-0 in the first inning, added another run in the second, so we're up 4-0. But it was Cleveland with 2 runs in both the 4th and the 5th to tie it up, and then scored 1 in the top of the 6th to make it 5-4. Hit count 8-5 right now in favor of Cleveland. Hobbs hasn't had a hit in the last 8 batters, so they're definitely due one. Fastball goes high off the webbing of the catcher Hoffman, and sails to the middle of the backstop for ball 2. 2-0 count now for Easton Kirkendall. Swing on a fastball and a miss for Kirkendall. Count to 2-1. Eagles desperately need to get a man on base with a 1-run deficit here. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Fastball and hit right to the middle of the netting. Evens up the count at 2-2. So Kirkendall is going to have to protect the plate. Last hit for the Eagles was back in the 4th inning. That was Kirkendall himself. He had a single. That was 8 back. Fastball, swing and a miss. That will strike out Kirkendall. That is the 10th strikeout for the Eagles in this game, the first at the pitching of Kittner. And now Hobbs going to go to the bottom of the order and bring in Kenyon Singleton, who's 0 for 2, struck out and flew to short on his last at-bats. That will mean the Eagles will have their 3rd order used up here, their time around to finish up. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th, and Hobbs trailing 5-4. Fastball hits inside and gets the strike as Singleton waiting for on that one. A 1 pitch, curve inside off the handle and goes to the backstop. Count to 0-2 now. Socorus Puig will be the top of the order here in just a second. He's 2 for 3, a home run and a single, scored 2 runs. So he's definitely somebody that can kind of get a shot in the arm for the Eagles offensively here. Here's the windup in the throw. Curve inside, yanked down the third baseline out to left field. It'll stay on the ground. He's going to see if he chugs it out for a second base. Yes, he's going to second. The relay not in time as Sandoval just holds on to the ball. So a double for Singleton, getting his first hit of the ball game, and finally somebody getting one for the Eagles. Again, they had 8 hitters up until that point. And Hobbs will bring in a courtesy runner as well, as checking in for the Eagles out at second base will be Isaiah Montez, the senior. So Montez heads to second as the courtesy runner. And now we got the top of the order. Man can hit the ball hard. Bernie Socorus Puig with that homer and the single. Homer to start the ball game back in the 1st inning. Curveball inside, check swing, it gets off the catcher's glove, and that's going to get the runner to third, Isaiah Montez. He's got some speed out there. Chasing it was Hoffman. As time is called, everybody gets adjusted, and kind of a collision there at the plate, too, as the batter for the Eagles kind of in the area of where the catcher trying to get the ball, and it was a kind of a mess there for just a second. So Socorus Puig will come back to the box. Isaiah Montez at third, the courtesy runner for the Eagles. Tasting a tie here if he can get across that home plate. Just 1 down for Hobbs. Bottom of the 6th, 5-4 is the score in favor of Cleveland. Wind up in the throw from Kittner. Fastball lunging out on the end of the bat. Going to air it out towards left center. Center fielder comes over to make the catch. That is Dominic. But that'll send home a runner on the sac fly. And the score for the Eagles. That's going to be a nice play for the Hobbs Eagles to get the tying run on the sac fly out to left center. As Isaiah Montez gets a run. And we are tied at 5-5. Nip and tuck ball game. Eagles own the first 2 innings, but the last 2 have been owned by Cleveland. But now the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th, tie up it at 5. Here's the pitch coming from Kittner, fastball. Little flinch there for the Eagles at the plate. And that is McNabb. Eric McNabb is 1 for 3 with a single and a couple of ground outs. Fastball hits low and hits the plate. I'm going to say it was touched by the bat first, so the foul ball makes it a 1-1 count. McNabb is second in the order for the Eagles. Colton Graham at third and Edwin Perez in the cleanup. Of course, Graham did have an RBI single earlier in this game, back in the 3rd. Fastball, middle of the bat. It's going to get some air underneath that. A one-hand scoop catch over on that first base foul territory, and coming up with it, the first baseman. That was Brevig for the 3rd out for the Eagles. But Hobbs does get on the scoreboard to tie this thing up after a double from Kenyon Singleton. And, of course, Isaiah Montez, a courtesy runner, comes home on an error or a wild pitch. So we got a 5-5 ball game, top of the 7th. They're going to go the distance in this one. It's going to be Cleveland at the plate. try to break the tie. Come back with us live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We got a barn burner here at Sportsman's Park, the first home game of the season, as the Eagles and the Storm are at 5-5, top of the 7th. Hobbs will have one more at bat, so they don't have to worry yet. Storm will have a lefty at the plate. At second in the order, Chase Tyler. He's 0 for 3, a ground to short, fly to catcher, and a fly to short. Fastball low. They're going to get the strike zone, though, as the relief pitcher Marcos Alderete on the mound for the Eagles. 0-1 count here. Wind up and the throw. Curve it inside off the knuckler. Going to roll out towards first. Should be an easy one for McPeters, and he just goes and steps on the bag. Nice scoop right of the bag that time for the out. Third in the order, Jace Dominic. He is 1 for 2. He had a double, a walk, 2 runs, and a strikeout. Cleanup man Elsie. He's the guy the Eagles have to be scared of there. 2 for 3 so far with a home run and a single. 2 RBIs as well. Fastball outside for ball 1. Still 5-5, top of the 7th. 8-6 hits in favor of Cleveland. Here comes the 1-0 from Alderete. Fastball keeps it way low. Rolls across the field turf, left of the plate for the ball. 2-0 count now. Again, he's got 1 save this year, and it would be a save in this one, too, because the Eagles were down a run when he came on. Fastball outside for ball 3. Big lead at the plate right now for Dominic. Curve inside. He takes a whack at it. It's going to go foul towards the right over the bullpen behind Cleveland Storm's dugout, and takes the roll towards that JV field. 3-1 count now for Dominic. Already back up to the mound, fires a fastball, gets that handle of the bat to stay alive for Dominic. Elsie, Kittner, and Barela, all 3 of them have had hits so far. I mentioned Elsie had 2, 1 apiece for Kittner and Barela. Barela, the RBI double as the pitcher, the starting pitcher for Cleveland at the plate. Full count now for Dominic. Already taking a little bit more time as he checks the call from behind the plate from Singleton. Turns and fires it inside. A golf swing and a strikeout. Swing and a miss for Dominic. So we got 6 Ks now against the Storm and out number 2. This is the last hurrah for Cleveland to try to get a lead here, as they'll bring up Kittner. Already taking a little bit of time as usual. Here we go. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball hit straight up in the air. That's going to be out towards second base and calling everybody off his Puig, and comes up in front of his bag and makes the catch, the second baseman, for out number 3. So that's what you do to play some defense, and now the offense has got to step up as they're tied 5-5. Eagles get 1 run. This game is over, or we have the extras, depending on what happens. We'll be back in 60 seconds on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. We're tied at 5 at Sportsman's Park. Back at Sportsman's Park, bottom of the 7th, the Eagles tied with 5-5 with Cleveland, and they had the last at bat here to try to get the lead for the victory. At the plate for Hobbs, Colton Graham got on due to an error, got a run scored after that, an RBI single and a strikeout. So he is 1-for-3. Takes the fastball down the middle for the strike and evens up the count at 1-1. Again, tied at 5. We're at the bottom of the 7th. This is the last official inning unless we add something. He's third in the order is Graham. Curve inside, whacks it off the handle out towards second. One-handed by Kittner, and the throw into first to Brevig. Actually, that's not Kittner because Kittner came into relief. We'll have to double-check who they switched out there. Looks like the change-up there was number 25, who they had checked in. It doesn't look like I have a 25 on my roster here, so I'm not sure who that is at second. So one down, though, for the Eagles. Fastball high for ball 1 for Edwin Perez. One down here in the bottom of the 7th. Perez is 0-for-2 with a couple of strikeouts and a walk, so he did get on base once. Here's the 2-1. Curveball, swing and a miss for Perez. Evens up the count at 2-2. Perez fourth in the order, the cleanup. Trying to get his first hit of the ball game. Eagles have had 5 hits so far. Fastball almost took off his head, and the count goes to 3-2. On the strike. We've got a full count now, and he didn't even move out of the way that time, and they still got him on the strike. Here's the full count pitch. Throws it way outside and coming across the plate, missing it. And actually, that was the second strike, so now we got a full count. 3-2. Complete lunge on that one to the back right corner of the plate. Curveball right down the middle, waiting on it and taking the strike 3. Unfortunately, was Perez. And that's going to bring up 5th in the order, Major Bird. He's 0-for-2 with a couple of strikeouts, but he did get on due to a walk back in the first inning. He's due one. 2 down, though, for Hobbs. Or we go to the extra innings if he can get on base or score. Fastball goes low for ball 1. Brewer, Alderetti, Kirkendall, and Singleton. Last 4 in the order for the Eagles. But there are 2 outs. Still tied 5-5, bottom of the 7th. Here's the windup and the throw coming from Kirtner right down the middle. Swing and a miss for Bird. Count goes to 1-1. Here's the windup and the throw from Kittner. Fastball. Hard slap out towards right center. Is it going to get a drop on it? A diving attempt. It hits the ground at right center near the flag, and that's going to be a chance to advance to second. Bird waited a second. They get the relay in from the center fielder, Dominic, but, boy, he waited a long time to start going to second. That was close to being out there, getting a tag out, but he got there in time. So Bird extended that for a double. And luckily now a runner, the go-ahead run for the win is at second. They'll bring in a courtesy runner for the Eagles. And that will be Armendariz. Hector Armendariz will check on at second. But there are 2 outs. Definitely got to protect himself on those plates. And coming up for the Eagles will be Makai Brewer. Makai is 1-for-3 with an RBI single and 2 strikeouts since then. Again, Armendariz at second. Still 5-5. Here, a little delay here as one of the infield umps was up talking to Kittner, the pitcher for Cleveland. Of course, Brewer's a lefty, the only sophomore on the team. This could be a big game for him if he can get this at least an RBI to get the win. Kittner go with the curveball high for ball 1. Good eye there for the lefty Brewer. Alderetti's up next. Kirkendall and then Singleton. Both Kirkendall and Singleton have singles. Actually, a single for Kirkendall, a double for Singleton. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Curveball hits barely outside. Ooh, that looked close. Ball 2. 2-0 count. Little floater on that one. Of course, Armendariz very eager to get across the plate. He's at second right now as a courtesy runner. Kittner looks back at him at second. Big leadoff as well with those 2 outs. Here's the windup and the throw. Curve it way outside for ball 3. There's going to be a big pitch here for Brewer. Brewer will step back into the box. He's got 1 walk so far this year. Steps out of the box on the timeout as he gets back in now as he's ready to go. My paper just went flying. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the windup in the throw. Curve it inside low. Comes over the top of it for the strike. Full count now, 3-2. Still waiting at second is Armendariz. It's 5-5. Here in the bottom of the 7th. Full count pitch coming from Kittner. Curving inside, swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. So we're going to go an extra inning here. We've had both have a relief pitcher. Our Eagles were up 4-0 through 2. 2 runs apiece coming in 4 and 5 to tie it up at 4. Of course, Cleveland scored 1 in the 5th, or make it 6th inning, and Hobbs equaled it up in the 6th. Nobody scoring in the 7th. And to wrap up the game for the Eagles, at least for regulation, Hobbs able to get 1 hit, leave 1 on base, no runs scored. It's 5-5. We go to an extra inning here, number 8 here at Sportsman's Park. Hobbs and Cleveland High going head-to-head tonight. We'll be back in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We made it to the 8th inning here at Sportsman's Park. 5-5 the score. 8 hits for the Storm, 7 for your Hobbs Eagles. Of course, both teams will get a shot at some hits or attempts for hits at the plate here. Cleveland Storm coming in with the lefty to get this 8th inning going. Austin Barela, he started as a pitcher in this game. He has been relieved since then. A 2 RBI double for him at the offense. Tries to show a bunt as it goes foul the third baseline. He's also grounded out twice to first and short. Cleveland's been walked 5 times in this game, struck out 6, and have had 8 hits up here until the 8th inning. The Eagles with a total of 7 hits. They've been walked 3 times and struck out 10. Relief pitcher Marcos Alderete still on the mound for the Eagles. Been in here for a couple innings now. The windup in the throw going inside. Again showing bunt is Barela. They throw it down to second, and the runner is getting back just in time. Back in the box comes Barela. Of course, they had the runner at second with the international rules. Tiebreaker. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Alderete inside, swing and a miss. That was going to put Barela down on the strikeout. Marcos getting the 7th strikeout for the Hobbs Eagle pitching in this game. So the go-ahead run is at second, and of course he's on there just by placement, not because he got a hit or walk or anything to get there. Coming up now, 7th in the order is Malachi Hermilio. He is 0 for 2, ground to second and short, also a walk, so got on base 1 of the 3 times. 1 down here on the top of the 8th. 5-5 ball game. Fastball, swing and a miss. Late on that one for Hermilio. Count goes to 0-1. Alderete waiting for the batter. He's back in now. Turns and fires a fastball outside, and a zinger as Singleton had to get low on that one to bounce it off his chest protector. Little gamesmanship there, letting it bounce off a little bit and see if that runner is going to get too far off that second bag. Count goes to 1-1 with 1 down here in the top of the 8th. Still 5-5 score. Both teams with 1 error apiece. Alderete looks back at second to check the runner, turns and fires a fastball. Goes high. They're going to say barely missed the strike zone. Eagle fans are not liking that ball call. 2 balls and 1 strike. Going down to the wire here at Sportsman's Park tonight, the opening home game of the season for the Eagles. Game tomorrow and Saturday as well. Here comes Alderete with the 2-1 pitch. Fastball right down the pike for strike 2. Holding on at that time was Yermillo. Marcos versus Malachi here. The 2 M's going at it against each other. Storm came in with a 3-0 record. Hobbs at 2-1. Both getting those games in at the Cleveland tournament last week. The pitch coming outside and lunging across. It's caught by Singleton. He's going to throw it down to first, and McPeters makes a leaping catch and stamp on the bag there. Boy, it got sailed away from Singleton just a bit. Boy, if McPeters didn't come down with that, that would have scored the run at third. He's coming around there. Did advance the runner to third, though. So that will be an out for Yermillo. That's going to bring up Gavin Hoffman, 8th in the order. He's 1 for 3, or make it 1 for 2. Had a double in this third, strikeout, and then a walk and a run score. Takes the first fastball down the middle for the strike. So runner at third, 2 down. Here in the extra inning, 8th. Alderete looks back at third, turns and fires a fastball low and outside, and boy, having to chase it down to Singleton, saving the Eagles on that wild one. You wonder how much of that was a little playing around there, but that was a pretty hard thrown ball by Alderete, and Singleton using his equipment to keep that staying in play a little bit. Count to 1-1 now, 2 down. Big leadoff at third. Wind up in the throw, fastball outside again for ball 2. Those dangerous throws start to come outside, and Singleton keeping the Eagles safe on those behind the plate. Quick reload here for Alderete. Relief for the Eagles tonight. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball yanked out towards left field. That might hit the wall. Does it stand fair? It's going to did it bounce over? No, it goes foul after that, but it's still going to be a fair ball, and that will score a run. An RBI single, making it RBI double. Extended that one for Hoffman. Courtesy runner, or actually the international tiebreaker runner coming in there from third base. So that's going to make it 6-5 as pulling back up by 1 is Cleveland. 2 down. Runner at second now on the bottom of the order, Brandon Hennessy. He is 0 for 3 of the couple of strikeouts and got on due to an error. Alderete pops it down the middle of the pike for the strike on the fastball. Count to 0-1. Runner at second is Hoffman after the RBI double to give his team a 1-run lead. Alderete looks back at second, turns and fires. The steal's on the way. Throw down from Singleton. Should be in time. Oh, the up caught a quick save. And boy, that was as the ball was being thrown, it looked like. They're going to say the steal's good on that one. So that's going to be Hoffman converting it to third. And the count now 1-1 to Hennessy. The runner took off pretty quickly on that one, and looked like they got the throw in time from Singleton as he converted over to Bird, but umpire had a quick call on that one. Count to 1-1 with 2 down. Here's the windup of the throw from Alderete. Fastball clips the outside corner for strike 2. Count is 1-2 now. 1-run lead for the Storm. 6-5 here in the top of the 8th. Hennessy bottom of the order. Sandoval up next. He's got a single to his name and a walk. Fastball outside, and Singleton saving that from going wild. Just slid on over there from left to right behind the plate. With the ball, the 2-2 counts. Hobbs trying to give the Storm their first loss of the season here early. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alderete facing Hennessy. Still watching that runner. From third, curveball, and it's going to be fouled out. It's going to roll to the Storm coach there in the third base box and flicks it over to Bird to check it back to his pitcher Alderete. Got a battle going on here, a 1-run difference. Team out of Rio Rancho playing your Hobbs Eagles tonight, Cleveland. Alderete takes a little pause, and the 2-2 pitch gets the strike down the middle. Waiting on it was Hennessy. Bad decision. That's the 3rd K on Hennessy in this game. And 8 strikeouts against the Storm overall. That means no more runs come across. Although Hoffman does get the hit, the RBI double to score the one extra run to make it now 6-5. The bottom of the 8th, last hurrah for the Eagles. Got to get at least 1 to stretch this game out, and 2 to get the win here at Sportsman's Park. We'll take that 60-second break and come back live with HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Sportsman's Park. This is the extra inning here, as Hobbs leading by 1, 6-5. 9-7 hit count, in favor of Cleveland by 2, and Eagles going to get that free runner at second for the extra inning. And that will be for the Eagles heading to second, Brewer. Thought that was Brewer that went out there. I had to double check on that. It might have been Armendariz. We'll have to see. It looked like a 6, but I think it might have been an 8. They're going to already quickly throw to second before the first pitch as they try to get back the Eagle runner at second. Yeah, that is Alderete at second now. Of course, he was in earlier. Or is that Armendariz? Let me see here. Back on the mound, the relief pitcher is Kittner. He was the starter at second. Takes a few looks back at second, turns and fires. Fastball high for the ball. Kind of brushing back the chin of the Eagle. That's Marcus Alderete, who's now the relief pitcher for the Eagles. He's 0 for 3, though. Couple groundouts to short and a strikeout, so definitely keep it away from that left infield. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle for the strike, even up the count at 1-1. Alderete 7th in the order. Kirkendall and Singleton to round it out. Fastball inside for ball 2. Kirkendall had a single earlier and a walk and a double from Singleton. Let me go to the top of the order. We had Sikoris Puig with a home run and a single plus a sac RBI. Curve inside, swing and a miss. Ball hits the plate after that, but it's quickly scooped up by Hoffman, the catcher. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Alderete. Got a courtesy runner at second on the international tiebreaker rule. Gives you an extra opportunity to score here. Here comes a 2-2 pitch from Kirkner. Fastball, and it's fouled off to the right side above the press box and going towards that JV field, which is actually a varsity field tonight. Another game going on here with the round-robin situation in Hobbs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch, high and outside on the fastball for ball 3. Still 6-5 score here in the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland by 1. Kittner turns and fires down the middle, hit hard towards third on the scoop. They thought about a double play instead of throw to first, coming off of Hermelio to Brevig, and that will be the out. Now, he was thinking about throwing that to second. I don't think he got his baseman out there quick enough to the bag to help out with that one. But Hermelio comes up with a big throw there to put down the Eagle, Alderete. 8th in the order now, Easton Kirkendall. He is 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a strikeout. So he's been on base 2 of the 3 times. Isaiah Montez is going to get his first shot at the plate tonight as he'll come in for Kirkendall. Montez will be 8th in the order. In terms of his hitting this season, hasn't hit in this game at least. He has 1 run scored and no hits at this point. And Montez with no other stats at this point in time, so getting himself a chance to get a real good play here to try to at least tie this ball game. It takes the fastball outside for ball 1. Of course, Montez a lefty for the Eagles. Runner at second with 1 out here. Bottom of the 8th. 1-run lead for Cleveland, 6-5. Curveball inside, swing and a miss for strike 1. Montez, a senior, of course. Plays several different positions. Here's the 1-1 pitch going inside, a high one, swing and a miss for strike 2. Montez just wanted to get some contact on the ball, just had that runner at second. The tie-in run at second, and the go-ahead run for Montez. 1 ball and 2 strike coming from Kittner, a time called as Montez will step out of the box. Both teams have had 2 pitchers on the mound tonight. 9 hits for the Storm, 7 for the Eagles. Quick look back for Kittner to second. Turns and fires a fastball high for ball 2. It's a good eye there for Montez to get the count even up at 2-2. Big pitches coming here as Hobbs trying to get back in this one, down by 1 run in the extra inning. The windup in the throw, inside, and hits the bag and is going to roll back to the backstop. That will advance the runner for the Eagles. Definitely to what Cleveland did not want to have happen there, with a tying run now at third. Definitely want to keep this as far away from third as possible. Don't want to get your runner tagged out, but he's going to be watching very closely. He won't be moving much. That ball is dribbling out towards third. With the fastball out, and that will be outside for ball 4, and the walk given to Montez. So coming out of the dugout for his first at bat, and he gets a runner on. That'll be the go-ahead run at first, and brings up Kenyon Singleton now. Singleton is 1 for 3, has a double his third at bat, flew to short, and also had a strikeout earlier. Just 1 out for the Eagles, and they need that 1 run to tie it up here. We are in the bottom of the 8th, the extra inning. So Kittner just bent down a little bit, checked the call from his catcher, throws the fastball outside for ball 1. Eagles got to be smart on the bases as well. Don't want to get tagged out somewhere because they are down by 1 at this point. 2 outs and this game is over. Big leadoffs at both first and third. Here's the pitch. Kittner goes inside. It's going to be hit straight up in the air. Going to be heading more towards first. Big decision. Who's going to get it? And misjudging it is the first baseman. Ball hits the turf inside the first baseline out near the pitching mound, and that's a bad mistake for Cleveland because although nobody scored on that one, so they did dodge a bullet there. So that was Barela, who was the starting pitcher, moved to first and makes a mistake in judging that one, and now it's going to be the Eagles getting on due to an error. Actually, I guess they give him a hit on that one. So Singleton has 2 hits, a double and a single. They go to the top of the order, and this is the guy that the Storm do not want to see out there, Bernie Socorro-Puig, who has been 2 for 4, home run and a single, scored 2 runs as well, had a sack RBI. And he could get another sack RBI to tie this game up. Takes the first pitch low for the ball. Eagles have 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. It's still 6-5. 1 run to tie, 2 to win here in the extra inning. Here's the windup in the throw from Kittner. Bounces off the bag. Oh, boy, what a good protect there by Hoffman, the catcher, to keep that bounced in front of the bag instead of going behind it or the plate. Timeout called as the shortstop Sandoval comes and talks to Kittner. Gives a little bit of words of confidence there and heads back to the short. All bases loaded for the Eagles. 1 run would tie it up here, 6-5. Here's the windup in the throw from Kittner. Goes low, and over the top comes Socorro-Puig, and unfortunately doesn't make contact with the ball. First strike, though, 2-1 count. Again, just 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Eagles getting those leadoffs at all 3 of the bases now. Quick reload, curve inside, whacked out to center field. That's going to score at least 1 run. They're going to hold the runner at third for the second, but it is tied up thanks to Puig. And that will bring home the run for the Eagles to tie up this ball game. See if they can get some momentum going here. So Puig gets the RBI single. Eric McNabb now would like to get the win in the books here. It is 6-6. Bases loaded once again. McNabb takes the first fastball for the strike. McNabb is 1 for 4, started off the game in the first with a single and a run, and ground out to the pitcher, and then also ground and flew out to the first baseman a couple of times. So he's due for another hit now in his 5th at bat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High fastball for ball 1 to even up the count at 1-1. Should mention Montez was the guy that scored for the Eagles to get the tie ball game at 6. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Kittner. Fastball low and hits right in the chest protector of Hoffman, the catcher, and able to drop it down. Of course, he might be playing with it just a bit, trying to get those runners off the bags. Count goes to 2-1 now. Still 1 out, though, for the Eagles, so they get a run across. This game's over. Here's the windup in the throw. Fastball high and outside for ball 3. A walk would win the ball game, so that's another element added on to the mess here. As Cleveland is a little bit nervous. Don't see the coach wanting to come out here, but one bad pitch, and this is the ball game. High fastball inside high, and that is ball 4 for the walk. And that'll be a RBI for McNabb as well, as he will score Kenyon Singleton as the Hobbs Eagles get the win. 7-6. What a way to end it for Hobbs. Kind of a nail-biting situation there. Game was tied late and went to extra inning, and of course the Eagles coming back. So Hobbs ending up with 2 hits in that bottom of the 8th. They get the score coming across to tie it up, and then the go-ahead run, so they end up scoring twice. Also get a couple of walks and an RBI from both Sikoris Puig on a single and a walk RBI there for Eric McNabb for the win. Hobbs getting the victory again, 7-6, as they go to 3-1 on the season. We'll take a quick 3-minute break and come back to wrap it up here from Sportsman's Park, live on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube. Welcome back to Sportsman's Park as your Hobbs Eagles get the win over Cleveland, 7-6. A come-from-behind victory in 8 innings, so an extra inning played here tonight. They take a look at first the Cleveland Storm in this one. They had a multiple hitter in Brayton Elsie. He had 3 for 4, a 2 RBI home run, a couple of singles, and 2 runs scored. So he was the big hitter for Cleveland. Nobody else with multiples, but DJ Sandoval went 1 for 3. He had a single and a walk. Chase Tyler went 0 for 4. Jace Dominic went 1 for 3 with a double, a couple of runs, and a walk. Logan Kintner went 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Austin Barela, the starting pitcher, was 1 for 4 with an RBI double. And also Gavin Hoffman went 1 for 2 with an RBI double, a stolen base, and actually another double on top of that. So he was actually 2 for 3. I got that wrong here in my scorebook. So definitely some good numbers there. They had a total of 9 hits for the Cleveland Storm in the loss. They struck out 8 times and were walked 5 times. So that's the Cleveland Storm offensive numbers. Looking at your Hobbs Eagles, Bernie Sikoris-Puig leading the Eagles with 3 hits. A home run to start the ball game. He was the first at bat. He scored a run after that, of course. A single with a run scored and an RBI single in the last inning, too. So definitely a big game for Bernie Sikoris-Puig. Again, 3 for 4 and 2 runs and an RBI. Eric McNabb went 1 for 4 in the game with a single, scored a run, and had a walk, an RBI walk, I should say. Definitely an important one there to get the win. Colton Graham went 1 for 4 with an RBI single. Edwin Perez went 0 for 3, but he did get on base with a walk in this one. Major Bird went 1 for 3 with a double and a walk. Mackay Brewer was 1 for 4 with an RBI single. And Easton Kirkendall went 1 for 2 with a single and a couple of walks. We should also mention Montez came in for him as well and scored a run. So actually it's 1 walk for Kirkendall and a single, and Montez coming in with a walk in the 8th inning. And finally, last but not least, Kenyon Singleton. He had a couple of hits tonight, 2 for 4 with a double and a single, and also scored a run. So a lot of guys getting involved. 2 with multiple hits. Sikoris-Puig, 3 for 4, and Kenyon Singleton, 2 for 4 in this contest. The Eagles finished with 10 hits in the ball game. Hobbs was walked 4 times, and we mentioned some of those guys that picked up those walks. Perez getting 1, Bird getting another, Montez coming out the dugout for 1, and also Kirkendall. And Hobbs struck out 13 times in this ball game. So big win for the Eagles. Of course, they were up 3-0 in the first inning and made it 4-0. They did go up 4-2 at one point in the 5th inning. It was tied up in the 6th, 4-4. 5-4 lead, tied it back up 5-5 to the Eagles, and then they finally come back in the 8th to get the final 2 runs they needed, including that walk to bring home their final one to make it 7-6. As Hobbs gets their record now to 3-1 on the season. That's the first loss for Cleveland. They dropped to 3-1. Hobbs will play tomorrow night at 7:30 as they will take on Los Lunas, who was victorious over Clovis on this same Sportsman's Park field, 8-1 earlier tonight. We will not have that game broadcasted tomorrow. We have Hobbs Lady Eagles basketball, but we will have the 12:30 game Saturday against Santa Fe High right back here at Sportsman's Park. Don't forget we have basketball tomorrow night. The Hobbs Lady Eagles have their first-round state tournament game as they will host at Task Arena, Piedra Vista at 6 o'clock. You can catch the action at 100.5 The Eagle on the radio, also at HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube on the internet. And the Hobbs boys basketball team has their first-round state tournament game on Saturday, 6 o'clock again at Task Arena. They take on Farmington, and that'll be right here on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and our radio station, Cool 95.7. Again, final score tonight, 7-6. Hobbs Eagles victorious over Cleveland. Thanks for joining with us here on HobbsAmerica.com and YouTube, and we will see you Saturday afternoon at 12:30 right back here at Sportsman's Park.